Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the post-episode issues, the Game of Thrones, Season 1, Episode 6, A Golden Crown. I wanted to just say, a crown for a king. I just wanted to get it off, get it right out of the way, right away. Holy shit, another amazing episode of Game of Thrones from Season 1 on our rewatch. As we're this close, we are a freaking fraction of a week. We're less than a goddamn week away from the premiere of Season 5, and I couldn't be more excited. And I'm not here alone. With me on this recap and review of A Golden Crown is Joe, Dirty Locks, and Katie. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this episode, and I'm really, really excited for Game of Thrones Season 5 and getting to that this weekend. I can't, it feels like forever, but then again, I can't believe it's this close. I can't believe we're this fucking close from new Game of Thrones episodes.
A week away?
Less than a week away. So if this is your first time tuning in, we're doing a rewatch recap of Game of Thrones to kind of bridge the gap to get us ready for Season 5. We're going to make a little bit of an announcement about that later in the episode, but I'm not one for waiting. This will probably be the last one of these that we're going to do until Season 5 is over, because we want to up the coverage of Season 5. We might do like 2 Season 5 podcasts a week, one our immediate recap, and then do sort of a question one where we take your questions that you post in the comments during the week, and then do kind of like a podcast that we answer the questions live instead of necessarily writing to each question. We'll answer every fucking question, and we'll go through it. So we're probably going to take a pause, and in that way we leave more fun for us to do in between seasons, and then we're going to go into Season 2 and Season 3 and then finish up the whole deal. So this will probably be the last one of these until after Season 5, and then we'll get right back at the rewatch recap. And it's a good episode to end on because Ding Dong, the little bitch, is dead. Viserys is gone. I'm the king. Oh, I'm the king. I can't burn.
Yeah, we discussed which one we were going to end on before. We were hoping to get the whole season done before Season 5 started, but when we knew that we weren't going to be able to do it because of all the other shows that we were doing, I didn't actually get to say it, but this was the perfect episode to end this. You know, we want to end it on something big too, you know. So
right.
So now we wait.
This was definitely a really good episode to end on.
Fire cannot kill a dragon.
Yeah, bam! End of episode. Recap over, guys. We'll see you later. Bye. And we also got
the beautiful day.
we also got an amazing thing in this episode of Tyrion and Bronn's whole the impending force that sends their bromance to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
Where Bronn defends his life and is his champion. And does not fight with honor, but he kicks the fucking knight's ass anyway of the veil and throws him down the moon door. But we're going to talk about all of that. And also had probably the first time so far we've seen Arya and Sansa agreeing in a scene. Very funny stuff.
But we mustn't leave.
Ooh, Bren says, by the way, I don't know what you did, but the quality is much better. I used the Lord of Light to manipulate Joe and Katie into wearing headphones. That's what happened. So that horrible echo is gone now.
Gone.
It's disappeared. You won't hear it. You won't have that again. So Game of Thrones Season 1, let's start it right up. What we start off. We open up with, we begin in King's Landing, where Eddard Stark is recovering from getting his ass whooped to him by Jaime Lannister, as we know. Right, Joe, from the end of last episode?
Yep, it opens up with him recuperating from his wounds.
Unconscious.
Yeah, sweaty and coming out of the milk of the poppy.
So he sits in his bed, and what's the worst thing? What could possibly be the worst thing he could wake up and look at? I don't know, maybe
any Lannister.
But especially, it's Cersei's smiling douchebag face just looking at him like, ew, what did you do? What did you do?
Guess he just should be happy he's waking up.
At all. Yeah, that's true.
He's very off-put when he wakes up. He's like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
but immediately he realizes too that like he throws out I'm hand to the king. Even though he's already said that
be hand to the king.
Yeah,
right.
He was fired / resigned.
Resigned. Well, not fired, resigned.
So
He's the only person that can talk to Robert that way.
Well, yeah, but Robert
Ever.
did talk about some punishments and such in his anger.
Right. Renly tries to talk to Robert like that later in the episode, but he isn't very successful doing it.
No, not at all.
Robert's like, I don't want to hear you. Shut the fuck up. You zip your fucking lip, Renly. It's not like those balls you throw, Renly. Ha 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 ha. Oh, and I'd like to also thank the chat room and thank everyone that's joining us live right now. We have people that are here at 5 a.m. Renwood, we're sorry for that Walking Dead addiction. We really apologize for that horrible purchasing thing, the influence we're having on your disappearing wallet. Ren is from Texas and grew up with rednecks. I say this with much affection. Oh, I'm reading out of context. And we've got a very lively chat room right now. Lola says, seeing Cersei Lannister getting slapped never gets old. It's literally a bitch slap. Thank you, Robert.
Wear it with honor, yeah.
I'll
Wear it in
you
silence
again.
or I'll honor you again, woman.
Be careful. You will honor her again. Ugh, that wasn't very kingly. I shouldn't have hit her.
Yeah, no, that's probably the most kingly thing we've seen him do. And that's not very kingly at all.
Oh, God, Robert.
I'm the king. I get what I want.
Yes, it is, King. You get what the fuck you want. So yeah, we begin in King's Landing. We're at Art Stark. He's sitting in his bed, his legs broken from basically the events of the last episode. He awakes to find Robert and Queen Cersei Lannister looming, like, hanging up above him.
And pretending to be all pissed she's got her brother in the fucking...
You have my brother.
Yeah, whatever. It's just so ridiculous.
Like, you're happy we took him, and you'd love for us to push him off the fucking... out of the sky cell there.
Dragon would like to say, in the books, Ned had a great dream sequence that describes his battle against the Kingsguard during this section.
Yes.
Interesting.
And he wakes up and right away Ned has that Ned Stark cry to him, to his voice. You pardon me, Grace. He's like, I would stand up, but I got stabbed in
Always
the
the
leg by you.
gentleman.
I guess it's fair to mention too that that's an important scene from the books. That's an important dream scene. I'm pretty happy they took it out of the.
Is that because of your personal feeling towards dream sequences as a whole?
It is. It is because of that, but in the books it doesn't necessarily read as a dream sequence.
Right, but it could be said that a lot of the books just read their memories, they're in people's minds, so it could be just all in the same thing rather than a show. The way they can dictate it onto film, they feel like they have to flower it up a little bit.
Right, and it would come off like a Milk of the Poppy dream sequence is how they probably would have ended up doing it, instead of just like him reflecting as a flashback, because they don't really do flashbacks in this. They do weirdy, dreamy shit like they did with Bronn.
So Cersei's like, did you know what your wife has done? And Stark takes responsibility. He steps up and takes responsibility for his wife. She did nothing I didn't command. He lies, which this is one example of the honorable Eddard Stark lying right here. He straight up lies to Cersei Lannister in this situation. And Robert's like, who'd have thought she had it in her? From knowing Catelyn just a little bit, I would think, of course she would have it in her. She's exactly the type of person that would do something like this.
Yeah.
And
not necessarily.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I think
Strong will.
she hasn't experienced anything like this, really. Like, I'm not sure. She's forever the good wife, the dutiful wife, she'll speak her mind to Eddard, but do what he says. And he said, go home. Don't,
So Stark, this is where he gets into the whole thing where I'm the hand of the king charging with the people's peace, and she's like, you were the hand of the king, goddammit. You're not the hand of the king anymore. You should be held accountable. And Robert gets really pissed off of that. He just wants them both to shut up. He's just shut up.
Both of you shut your mouths.
Yeah, he just
your mouths.
He just needs the both of them to shut up. He goes, you release Tyrion, and you make your peace with Jaime, and then Ed's like, wait a second, what about Jaime? He butchered my men.
Yeah, no, and this is like, basically, what Robert says is basically saying to him is, it absolutely doesn't matter. Whoever's in this family gets to do whatever the fuck they want, in spite of me being king.
And they do.
And they do. And they absolutely
Tywin
do.
has the money to back the king.
And essentially, this right here is all Robert needs, basically, to get rid of all the fucking Lannisters, including his wife. And he's unfortunately blind and doesn't see it.
Yeah, because he's so pacified by all the alcohol and everything like that. The Lannisters have Robert right where they want.
Yes,
absolutely. And it's not just that, but he's pacified by those things, but because of the loss of Lyanna 20 years ago.
Well, it's his own ego too. I am king. I get what I want.
Or whatever her name is. Right.
Like his ego won't allow him to accept the fact that the Lannisters could and would take him out.
Absolutely.
He hasn't ruled a day in the King's Landing.
I'm the king. I get what I want.
And that's all he's been doing since he got there. Except he didn't get what he wanted.
Yeah,
he didn't get what he wanted at all.
But the one thing he wanted, but
that maybe
the rest of it's fun.
That maybe never wanted him. So Lola, welcome Lola. Lola says, by the way, what's the difference between Cersei Lannister and a direwolf? Lipstick.
And what you said there is maybe the point of that dream sequence and the significance of it before this scene.
That Cersei Lannister is a direwolf?
That he maybe never would have gotten what he wanted.
Right. No, I agree.
Don't insult direwolves.
And when taking that out, it leaves you hanging on the, don't worry, we'll, shit that was spoke of in the, Eddard talked about in one of the earlier episodes that I don't necessarily want to bring up.
Right. So this is where Cersei really crosses a line, I think, with Robert, because she insults his real love here. Lord Stark was returning drunk from a brothel when he attacked Jaime and his men. Like, what the fuck? Who on what planet, Cersei, would believe that Ned Stark's coming home drunk from a fucking brothel? And Robert goes, quiet woman, and then Ned says, Jaime's fled the cities, let me go bring him back to justice. And Cersei gets right in Robert's face, I took you for a king, hold your tongue, he attacked one of my brothers, abducted the other. This is what Joe was saying earlier, like she feigns caring about fucking Tyrion, like she gives two shits that Tyrion's kidnapped. She hopes he gets thrown right out the fucking moon door. I should wear the armor, and you should wear the gown. To which Robert whacks her. And she says, I shall wear it like a badge of honor.
Oh, yeah. Wear it silently, woman.
Or I shall honor you again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't condone hitting, in general. People, men, women. I mean, if you get to that point, you have to do it. But Cersei's neither. Cersei is a
should be the last resort.
But Cersei is a character. and that character deserves to get slapped around by the king.
Yes.
Fictional evil women, yeah. Slap them all you want.
If there was ever a television character that deserved to be slapped, especially probably by her husband, this might be the woman.
Right. Okay. So thank you, Katie, for giving me permission for all women to.
This might not be necessarily the reason to slap her, but he has many other reasons that he doesn't know about yet.
Yes. You heard it here, people. I got permission of the entire female population by Katie. Via V's Katie to slap Cersei Lannister in my dreams over and over and over again. And then Robert says, see what she does to me. He pours wine, starts drinking, goes into kind of what we were saying, just his way of pacifying himself. My loving wife. And then he looks at Ned and says, I should not have hit her. That was not kingly. And it's so hard right now because then you bite your tongue and you want to talk about future things to come. But I'll say this. I don't think she's the type of person you want to be hitting to because if you don't kill her. If you're going to hit her, kill her.
Yeah, she holds a grudge a little bit.
Like the Die Hard villain when John McClane keeps killing that blonde German guy and he just keeps coming back. This is Cersei Lannister. You need to hammer her. You need to get rid of her. You need to wipe all evidence. Get that stuff like Jesse and Walt when they melt the people. That's what you got to do to Cersei. Eliminate it. No part of her can exist or it regenerates. It's a serious, dangerous situation there.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah,
Ed,
I mean, it's making that. It's making an enemy.
do actually here more permission to hit Cersei Lannister. Thank you. So Ned says, "What about Jaime Lannister and Robert Grimaces?" And not talking about the McDonald's creature Grimace. He just gets this. I mean, he looks kind of like Grimace. He could play Grimace. And he says, "What about Jaime?" And this is a very important thing to remember here. He says, "I'm half a kingdom in debt to his bloody father. I don't know what happened between you and those yellow-haired shits. I don't want to know. This is what matters. I can't rule the kingdoms if the Starks and the Lannisters are at each other's throats. So enough." And Ned just gets into the fine. The George Harrison the poem. "I'll play it like you want to, Paul. I'll do whatever you want to. As you command, your grace. Oh, whatever, man." The passive-aggressive friend thing that you do to your friend when your friend's made a decision and you don't agree with it, and you're just like, "Yeah, sure, Joe. Whatever. We'll do that. You want to go that? You want to go there? Fine. I'll just sit in the car. I don't care. Whatever."
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I know you have. I was recreating a real event, and then Ned Stark says, "As you command, your grace. With that, I'll leave and go back to Winterfell and set these matters straight." And he goes, "Piss on that. You're not going back. I need you here. I need you here to handle this, and you're going to sit on the throne and make decisions. You're going to hate it more than I do. We'll deal with this whole situation when I get back."
So basically, now Ned's a prisoner of the kings.
Pretty much.
Basically,
kind of.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, he really, now you know he wasn't going to leave Winterfell with a no answer, no matter what.
Right.
He's taking Ned back, and he's not going to let Ned leave.
That's an interesting thing to think of. Did Ned ever have a chance to get out of this? Could Ned ever have gotten out of this?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think so, Kate?
No.
No.
King gets what he wants.
Yeah, I had that sound cue somewhere. I'd play it.
Ultimately,
It's okay. I sound just like him.
You do.
Ultimately, he's going to be.
Exactly, Kate.
Yeah, ultimately, he's just not going to take no for an answer, and he's going to end up being like, "Just come down for a couple of months, see what it's like." If he's going to say yes, and then he's never going to let him leave, like we see here.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he's even wounded. His wife's in this pickle. There's a lot of shit going on. His wife even gonna make it back to Winterfell without getting killed by the mountain or some shit.
Yeah, who knows?
Some damage control in wherever we blanked out.
Westeros?
Yeah.
Ren says so. He has no problem taking her gold, but not her lip.
That's
very, very good point, Ren. And Robert has absolutely no problem telling Littlefinger to take all the gold in the world from the Lannisters, but he can't take. But he won't. But he ends up beating the shit out of Cersei for talking back to him. She should be in control. Her family runs the crown already. She's probably
in a manner of speaking, yeah.
I mean, Tywin Lannister, is the most powerful man in Westeros for a reason, and she feels like in her own mind she's the closest thing in the world to Tywin Lannister, inside her own head.
Well, and you might, and that's one of the reasons why he can't make a Lannister, hand to the king. Any Lannister hand to the king.
It's too much. You have to put at least one person in that buffer zone between you and the rest of them, because then at least it insulates you for having to be the person that deals with all the yellow-haired fucks, as he puts it. Right. JDF says, Cersei is the best. Cannot imagine Game of Thrones without her. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. She is essential. Her wackadoo, her crazy condescension, and everything that is her is so essential as Tyrion is. And I think as a character in the show, if you compare her to some of the other ones, I remember her scenes. I just love her so much in the show. She makes me laugh. She makes me smile. A lot got talked about how great Jackie Gleason is playing this little prick face on the show, and I hope he's on the show forever playing this little prick face. It's really great. But yeah. Cersei is really fucking incredible at playing what seems like a true villain here at the beginning of this series.
Yeah, no, if you ask me, I think all the actors that they chose have been perfectly casted.
So far that we've seen, yes. So far that we've seen, Joe.
Yeah, and like, but as a book reader and as a show watcher, I can't imagine any of it without any of these characters.
Right.
Like, if he had left any of the family members out from any of the families, it becomes so much smaller and so like, and it's exponentially. Like you can't remove any character from this, or even the actors I feel that are playing them, and not do harm to the show.
On some of the DVD extras, they have excerpts of the books being read from the actors who play the characters,
Awesome.
and it's pretty cool stuff. You can find it on YouTube, but if you search like DVD extras, some really cool stuff to listen to. So Ned's like, the hunt, you're going on a hunt? Yeah, and he goes, killing things helps my head. You'll have to sit on the throne while I'm away. You'll hate it worse than I did. And Ned goes, what about the Targaryen girl? And he goes, 7 fucking hells. Don't start with her again. The girl will die. I'll hear no more of it. Put the badge on. If you ever take it off again, I swear to Mother, I'll pin the damn thing on Jaime Lannister. And he leaves. But I don't believe him. There's no way.
Of course not.
There's no way he'd pin that fucking thing on Jaime Lannister.
Of course
That's a
not. And he's
great
not swearing
big
to his mother or Ned's mother for anybody out there. He's swearing to the mother, which is one of the 7 gods in the new religion.
Good question, Lola. Very good question. Why in 7 hells, especially after what happened to Bran and finding out all that information, why in 7 hells would Ned take Arya and Sansa there?
Continue to take them, right? Exactly. No, everybody's going to stay back here at Winterfell except me.
Except me. I'm going to go check this out and maybe send for you in a year if everything checks out.
I mean, but that's what people did. You send your daughter to court. You're a lord. You send them, and she was supposed to marry. Like, Sansa's not getting out of it. I don't think.
He should have at least sent Arya back after the whole.
Should have sent Arya back with Mom.
Joe, but when you get old enough, Joe, I'll let you marry someone brave and strong and have courage, Joe.
Especially when he knows he can't keep it. He can't keep an eye on his daughter in Winterfell. Never mind at King's Landing. Arya, what?
Yeah.
Who's watching this kid? Nobody. She's just running around King's Landing through the stores with the cats. With the skulls. She's everywhere. Like, what? Nobody's watching her. She's got her sword lessons, and that's it. Like, she's gone.
So we go across.
Like, and if she does send her home with Catelyn, does Catelyn steal Tyrion?
No,
kidnap Tyrion?
No, if she
dwarf nap him?
If she had a child with her, she wouldn't.
Right. They'd have probably just gotten up and left right then and there. Been back in Winterfell.
If we don't act, there will be a war.
Oh yeah, there'll be a war.
Yeah.
Dark, there will be. Rachel says he's bluffing all the way. He'd never make Jaime into the king. That makes Cersei too happy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Vaughn says she's young and boy crazy. Can't think straight. Talking about Sansa. Or excuse me, for you you know who you are. Sansa. There you go. There's one. I did it. Sansa. That good old Sansa.
Yeah. No. You know what? Even with, I just don't like this Sansa. She treats old Nan like a. That's not even old Nan. Whoever the maid.
Septa Mordain.
Septa Mordain. She treats her like a.
Oh, Septa. Okay.
Oh, just.
Yeah,
she should have stood up. She shouldn't have just been like, "Oh, you're being rude now, Sansa." She should have got up and treated her. Giving her something to honor.
Yo, I'm taking the defense route here. I loved her in that scene. She was so condescending. She's really learning from this Joffrey.
She needed a badge of honor.
She's learning from Joffrey.
Give her the king's badge of honor.
He's teaching her. This is going to be the best thing that happened to this girl. Everything is going to. She's going in the right direction. She's siding with the right people. She's learning to hobnob. everything going up for this girl. Okay.
Yeah.
He's in the right situation.
When you tell one lie, it leads to another. When you tell 2 lies. No. I don't like this girl. She's just a little brat girl.
Rachel says, I found Sansa most annoying in this episode. Oh, but
big time. What's she treating Mordain like a douche for?
She's practicing. She wants to impress. She wants to impress her boyfriend.
Cersei. She wants to impress Cersei, probably.
Yeah, she wants to impress her future mother-in-law. She wants to show her she's rightful to be the queen like her by treating people like shit.
No, Mordane should have given her the king's honor.
Do you want to? Can I see your hair? Or I didn't even know. I've never even seen your hair. You want to see it? No. That's one of my favorite one-ever comments to her. The other one was, oh, I forgot. I don't care. I love when she says that to her too. Olivella says, I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I miss you guys since The Walking Dead is in the off-season. Just dropped in to say, hey, fellas. Hey, how's it going, man? This off-season is going to be a lot shorter for that show with the spin-off series, and there might be some recap watches in the dead of the summer starting with Season 1, Episode 1. But we won't talk about that right now. So Daenerys, we go across the sea.
Catastrophe, hold on. Oh, no, hold on. Keep going. I'll be back in a second.
Vaughn says Sansa's with her new family now. And that's something that's interesting to talk about. If you ever read some of George R.R. Martin's initial... It came out a couple months ago, where the first direction he wanted to take the series. Initially, in his first drafts, she really did side against the Starks. So I think in some of the stuff in the season 1 or in the first book with her, is still so much leaning in that direction of showing the possibility of her completely betraying her family, which maybe she might. I don't know where they're going. I don't know where they're going with this. I'm caught between not spoiling the ship, but silly thing with it doesn't matter quite as much. Excuse me, with her. I'm drinking a horrible beer on National Beer Day here. Yeah, get to a mini Cersei in training. Absolutely. So across this narrow sea, we'll quickly talk about Daenerys here. Daenerys continues with her, her being completely into her dragon's eggs, just looking at them, and talking to them, holding them. So she tries to put one on the coals in the fire. Nothing really happens, but she picks up the coal with her own hands, and you expect it. Or you're thinking that, oh shit, what's she doing? She's just losing her mind. She's gonna burn her fucking hands. What's going on with this girl? And she picks up the stone, and we look at her hands, and as her little maid person runs in and goes, "Wow, are you okay? Are you okay?"
Let me ask you a question, Phil.
And they look at her hands, and she's not burned.
Let me ask you a question.
Khaleesi.
How old were you when you started playing with fire?
The first time I burned myself with fire?
Yeah, not even necessarily burned yourself, but started playing with yourself and knew that fire was hot, don't touch it.
Those are two different questions, Joe. When I first started playing with myself, or when I first
playing with fire.
Fire was dangerous when I was very young. I put my hand inside the burner of the stove because I thought it looked pretty and I wanted to touch it. When I was probably like 3 or 4, and you know what? I never did that again.
Right, and so that's why I'm like, she doesn't know that she can't get burned like all this time. And like she's just discovering this. Maybe she used to get burned.
Right. Who knows? Maybe something has changed in the geography or in the world of Westeros. We know that the White Walkers have been unleashed, as we've seen early on. Maybe something on the other side, the yin to the yang of the White Walkers' power, has been awoken as well to give fire or something like that. Give her the power. I don't know. I'm just making this up. I could be talking about Captain. I could be talking about Captain Planet or Pokemon here. It's very true. Lilith says Targaryens weren't immune to fire. Indeed, more than one did die in the past in flames, sometimes in attempts to bring dragons back. Ghetto Toad says Dany wanted to fry dragon eggs for dinner. She was so sick of all the horse meat.
That's what I was thinking. That's what, oh, can I get something else? How are there no chickens?
And Lil, I'm going to hold on that comment for a second, just because it's talking about, but I know exactly what you're saying, and that is, I've read the same thing. He said that that's a special event. That's not necessarily something to consider as the rule that's going to happen. So Khaleesi, she takes the dragon's egg and throws it off, and goes, "Oh my God, you should be burned. You're hurt." And he goes, "No," and she's not hurt.
No, she's not hurt.
So
but the girl is.
The girl,
when
yeah.
She grabbed the egg away from her and threw it back in the coals. Her hands were burned.
Vaughn says maybe Viserys tried to burn her and it didn't take.
I'm sure Viserys tried to do a lot of things to her that didn't take.
Oh my gosh. So Rob in this scene, we get a scene with Bran having another three-eyed crow vision dream, venturing deeper into the crypts beneath Winterfell. Hodor busts in with a saddle, waking him up. Hodor! And he's got the saddle built.
He doesn't say Hodor at all.
No, I know. Every time he walks in, I want to say Hodor.
You do. I did. I was like, oh, Hodor. But nope, there was no Hodor from Hodor.
And he's got the saddle that Tyrion designed for him. Next thing we know, we flash over, and he's not dreaming. Bran is riding around his horse, hooting and hollering, having fun at life. Robb and Theon are talking about Ned's injury and Theon's trying to influence Robb to show some sort of action.
Oh, not some sort of action. He's basically like, go invade Lannisport, you fucking pussy. Why haven't you... Your dad got stabbed in the leg.
Now,
why haven't you taken arms and stormed their fucking city?
Whose side are you on here, Joe? Do you think Theon's giving him wise advice?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay.
Without a shadow of a doubt, Theon is a fucking moron.
I'm sorry, I don't know why that cracked me up. Okay, fair enough. So
like, I mean, I feel bad for the kid. He's been, he was basically abducted when he was a boy. He's been a prisoner his whole life, a well-kept prisoner, but still a prisoner. I'm not sure. I want to put a Phil Striss in this one, and talk about this a little bit later. So Bran's elsewhere in the forest, and he ends up getting surrounded by what? Well, they noticed he's missing. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah, where is
he go? I mean, he's like doing circles on his horse right in front of him, and all of a sudden he's gone. And we see he is in the midst of 4 wildlings. Ooh, and a scary looking woman. Yeah.
What's wrong with you? You some kind of cripple?
Yeah, and they try to they're like, hey, get off your horse now. We're gonna take that horse. We're gonna take that silver amulet. And he's like, but I can't get off. And he's like, don't be a wise ass. He's like, no, look, check out my
Yep, I'm a cripple. Yeah.
Yo.
Or no, he says, no, I'm not a cripple. I'm Brendan Stark of Winterfell, and I'm not alone. My brother's here. And I'll have you all killed. Yep. And they try to push him off the horse. They throw him off the horse, and who shows up? They cut the straps off him. And they cut his leg. They cut his leg a little bit too. Right. Well. He doesn't even flinch, so we know he's absolutely no feeling in those legs. Dragon says Robb Stark gives Theon the business. It's not your house, bitch. Basically, what he says to him. He gives him so much business in this. After he saves the day, after Theon ends up showing up at the end and shooting the. Oh no! Well, he says, this isn't your house, so shut up. And then he's like, "Where's Bran?" He goes, "How the fuck should I know? It's not my house. Go fuck yourself." And he just storms off. That was the first moment I kind of liked Theon. I like how he responded to that. He just walked out like, "Fuck that." And then I like that he came back too eventually. And well, do you think Robb had it handled without him? I mean, he takes out those first 2 walkers and takes the girl by sword point, and now it's just the guy has Bran. You've been watching too much Walking Dead. You called them walkers. Did I call them walkers? Yeah, you totally did. See, this is why we're doing this. It gets us in shape to talk about Game of Thrones. He totally said walkers. That was great. Like, you just take out the 2 walkers, no problem. He did. He kicked his ass. He kicked ass when Robb showed up. It was a badass scene. But the guy had him in the RoboCop position, where he had the knife to Brendan's throat. So we knew it was a sharp knife too. That it was like the ease in which he cut through those leather straps was he just like snap, and then when he cut through the one on his leg, it cut his leg and cut the strap open pretty quickly. So. Yeah, I gotta say that's a pretty sharp knife he's got to Bran's neck. Yep, absolutely. Oh, very sharp. Yeah, sharp and jagged. So ultimately, Theon comes back into the scene and shoots the wildling that has Bran by knife point, and shoots him in the back. And Robb again starts giving Theon the business of saying, "Have you lost your mind? What if you missed?" And Theon says he would have killed you and cut Bran's throat. You don't have the right, says Robb. To do what? Save your brother's life? It was the only thing I could do, so I did it. And again, I guess in this situation, I think I side with Theon, I know what Rob's saying. You're a prisoner. You don't have the right to kill someone unless I tell you have the right to kill someone, or Ned tells you have the right to kill somebody. But he was saving Bran. He was doing it for the right reasons. You don't have to be a prick to him right there, Rob. At least I'm gonna give Rob a little bit of shit and defend Theon here. Yeah, I did it. I feel bad, but I did it. I don't feel good. I feel dirty for defending Theon there, but I'm going to. I think he did the right thing in this.
I think he did the right thing too. I think he's absolutely right. He puts down his sword. He's gonna kill Bran and then come after Rob.
Dragon says wildlings, not walkers, and Lola says Theon really, really wants to be a Stark at this point. I think, and I agree. Yes. He really wants to feel like he's part of the family.
I think. Well, he's lived there for basically about half. He's like about 10 when he's taken, and he's about 18 now. So he's been there almost half his life. Especially like the conscious half of his life, he's been there. So.
Ren says it's more than a prisoner. Ned may have to kill him if his family ever rises again in the kingdom. So yeah, he's also
He's a hostage
policy. Yeah, an insurance policy as well. Which, but almost said something I didn't want to say. But exactly, he's an insurance policy. He's an important chip to keep the Iron Islands in check
from rising up and trying to be kings themselves again.
Exactly.
And I have a hard time understanding why they're all self-proclaimed raiders. Their words are "we do not sow." Why hasn't all of Westeros already sacked the Iron Islands and not just get back in line here, you can still be lord, but fuck you all. You're all a bunch of fucking murderers, rapists, and thieves. You've been sacking and profiting from raiding the mainland this whole your whole existence. Why didn't they take that opportunity to just, especially when they rose up against Robert afterwards, they should have just taken that opportunity to kill all the Iron Islanders.
Ren will probably be able to help us with this information a little bit. I think when they sacked Pike, couldn't they have just done it all there? Didn't they have probably had the opportunity, and Robert chose to turn around, and then they just took Theon for that reason to be like, oh, if you ever do it again, we have
your last son, and he's your only son. Because he could make more fucking sons. They didn't cut off his dick. They didn't geld him.
Yeah, did they give him a vasectomy? Did they give the Westerosian vasectomy? No wonder why he's so salty, that prick. So we check into the Eyrie where Tyrion is in the Sky Cells, and this is what Joe was talking about last week, or last episode. He wakes up to turning and almost falling off the edge.
Yep.
It's scary, very scary shit. And he awakens, rolling towards the edge, and then he just screams, "Mord, Mord, Mord!" He bangs on the door, "Mord, Mord, Mord, Mord!" And then Mord comes in, and just starts beating the shit out of him, hitting
chases
him
him right to the corner, like the far corner ledge, right to almost fall off.
I gotta say, I don't want to criticize Peter Dinklage here, and it's not criticism at all, but. Maybe it was within character of Tyrion as well, but I swear to God, when this guy's beating him senseless, Tyrion laughs a few times, just cracks up laughing, because I think this actor was probably just cracking Peter Dinklage up because of how he's playing this character.
Well, he's not really hitting him either. If you watch, he's like hitting the edge of his arm in the wall mostly. He's not like beating Tyrion because he knows Tyrion's also a lord.
Right. It's a very cute. It's a very funny scene. It's played.
Lord Ling.
It's played for comedy, and it's just I have gold. I'll give you gold. No gold.
Right.
And they go back and forth.
Yeah. Where's the gold? What do you mean you'll give me gold? I don't give it. Okay, give it to me. Yeah, where's the gold? Give it to me.
Gold. Yeah. You have the money right now.
You see the big ring on Tyrion's finger? That's a hunk of gold right there.
Sometimes possession is an abstract concept.
Yeah, Tyrion's just trying to talk shit with him all the time about that.
An abstract concept is an abstract concept to this mind he's talking to. Like, huh? Abstract? More no. Abstract?
Ren says, when I first saw the Sky Cells, I thought that was where the dragons used to roost. Probably.
In the Eyrie?
Yeah, up in the Eyrie. Everywhere. When the dragons were everywhere. So Tyrion, well, I don't have it here, and he hits him again. No gold, fuck off, and he pushes him away. So then we go back to King's Landing. Arya is preoccupied by her father's injury and one of her training sessions, as Syrio Forel pushes her anyway and kind of points out to her some very important points that, well, when you're fighting, you're never clear-headed. And because she's like, I don't want to practice today, and he goes, no,
I'm troubled.
I'm troubled. Well, good. Trouble's the perfect time for training. When are you dancing in the meadows with dolls and kittens? That's not when fighting happens.
Yeah, that's not when fighting happens. Fighting happens when trouble's around.
Yes.
And if your mind's on your trouble when trouble finds you, you're going to be in trouble.
Yep, more trouble for you. Just be as quick as a snake or as quiet as a shadow as their swords keep meeting. When you're someone else, and when you're somewhere else. He places his hand on her shoulder. You're fearing for your father's health. For your father, and she's like, that's right. You pray the gods, the old and the new. And Syrio Forel says, listen,
there's only one God.
There's only one God. Death.
I love Syrio Forel. He's my favorite character in the books, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, I think, I like Syrio Forel a lot. I even named a,
Okay. Ren says it never did. The dragons never roosted there. It just looks like it to her.
Yeah. When the dragons were big and taken over Westeros, they were too big for those places.
Speaking of Dragon says the concept of ownership can be complicated. Are the most wasted words in the whole entire series.
Right.
Very, very, very true. So Syrio Forel, as we said, there's only one God, and his name is Death. And there'll be only one thing we can say to Death, not today. So it's almost, I talk a lot about Klingons. It's the opposite of what the Klingon words are, which is today is a good day to die, where you smile to death. In this way, you smile to death and you tell death, not today.
Oh, it's a different kind of smile. It's more of a smirk.
Yeah.
More of a go fuck yourself.
Poor Mord looks to have a traumatic brain injury with that scar.
Oh yeah, probably. Probably quite a bit of going on with Morg.
So we go, speaking of going into some horse eating, I don't know, weird transition. We go to Daenerys eating a horse heart. It's the part of the Dothraki ritual which I mean, I remember this whole thing. Not that I didn't enjoy the Daenerys stuff, because I definitely like the payoff with the series, and it's been a long time since I listened or read through the books. I remember there being a lot more to all of this. In the books, it seemed to be very streamlined with the Daenerys stuff, which I don't necessarily mind, but if you're curious more about the Dothraki rituals and stuff, that's one of those things that definitely pick up the books or listen to the books on tape. It gives you a lot more detail of this whole process that she's going through. So we're in the tent. She's eating a heart. And the Dothrakis are all watching her as Viserys is watching her too, and he's talking to Jorah, and he's like, she has to eat the whole heart. I hope that wasn't my horse. He's such a little bitch, and he's so good in this episode at being that character. Now Dany continues to eat, kneeling on a wooden platform as the priestesses in front of her start singing in Dothraki, moving their arms in the air. Jorah Mormont says she's doing very well. Drogo looks at Daenerys a few feet in front of him, and she rips a chunk out, and Drogo nods. Viserys says she'll never keep it down, as everyone starts singing louder. And he wants to know what they're singing to translate. And Jorah translates, "The prince is riding, I heard the thunder of his hooves. Swift as the wind he rides, his enemies will cower before him, and their wives will weep tears of blood. She's going to have a boy." So they're all celebrating because she's going to have a boy. It's an exciting time. I hope so. I hope so too, Dragon and Lola. Yes, and this is just gross. Very gross. Personally, I felt... yes, Syrio Forel, I agree with all those statements that are happening in the chat room right now. I'm going to not say them out loud just in case someone's watching this for the first time. But for when it comes down to it, I tend to agree with you guys of what you're saying in the chat room right now. And I think Joe does too. We've talked about that before. So Viserys says, "Yeah, son, but he won't be a real Targaryen. He won't be a true dragon." So Daenerys eats the last chunk of the heart. Again, this is very Klingon too. The Dothraki have a lot of similarities with the Klingon people. The Klingons, with with a Klingon, if they take take a partner of a different culture or different like a human, if a human marries a Klingon or something, the Klingon has to eat the heart of an enemy or something like that to truly feel Klingon, and that's a big part of finding victory and being Klingon. Very, very, very cool stuff, and very Dothraki. So she tries to take it, and she's about to vomit it. She looks like she might throw it up, but she pushes the bits back into her mouth. It's so fucking gross that I'm describing this in such detail. He grasps her, she lifts up to her knees and swallows the heart, and Drogo smiles at her. And this image of Daenerys is a very iconic image from the television show. Her drenched in blood, and that particular image, it's one of the early visuals of her that is very iconic from the show. Lois is the weirdest episode of Man vs. Food ever. And Ren says, yep, and she has to do everything and eat it without throwing up. Lola says, I would eat it. It was just a big-ass gummy bear. Yeah, that was really yummy. I heard her talking about that before. That was just a giant horse head gummy bear. Where can we get gummy bears like that? I was watching the television show, quick aside, At Midnight, the Chris Hardwick show, the comedy show, and I guess you can order people a big bag of gummy dicks.
Nice.
Yeah, bagofdicks.com. I don't get any money. I'm not promoting them for any purposes. But feel free if you ever want to send people gummy dicks.
Well, there's penis pasta. There's all sorts of good.
Remember when my mother owned an exotic gift basket company?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and
I wanted one.
Yep, we did. We had penis pasta, boob pasta, lots of fun stuff. Anyways, so Drogo looking at her like, you're getting some serious Drogo dick tonight. I added the Drogo to the dick right there. And Lois says, what a beautiful culture, right? Yeah, these people are very beautiful, very beautiful. You almost can relate to Viserys a little bit, given how he's lived, which is really weird to relate to him, in the sense of like looking at all this, like, because he's not getting into it. He's not obsessed with.
Why the fuck did he go with them?
To keep an eye. He says that very much in passing. He says,
right, but
I want to keep an eye on my stuff. They tell him not to go.
And right, because what the fuck's he gonna do? He should have just let them go and let them come back.
Why do you think he really went? Because is he trying to be proactive? Because usually douches like that think they're just entitled and they wait for things to come to them. Was he thinking this is his path to being king? He needs to go down this road.
Because he's not doing any part of this road. He's just miserable about the whole thing.
So did he do it just because he thought he could fucking bitch slap or cuckold fucking Khal Drogo or something? Like that he could just like fuck with Daenerys, have sex with Daenerys, do whatever he wanted, and just because he's smarter and more important, that this horse lord was going to respect his bullshit claim of nothing?
It's possible.
Yep.
You think so?
Sociopath. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just can't believe he was that. Yeah, I guess I can. You guys are right. You two are right. So, George says the stallion that mounts the world, the stallion will be the Khal of Khals. He should unite the people in a single Khalasar. All the peoples of the world will be in his herd. Daenerys stands up. She speaks in Dothraki. It's translated to Prince rides inside me, and he shall be called
Rhaego?
Rhaego?
Yeah, Rhaego.
Rhaego?
It's in there.
Rhaego.
I know she ends up naming one of the dragons after the dead son. One gets named after her brother. One gets named. Oh,
yeah.
Whoops!
Yeah,
I just did that. Well, shit.
Dragons? What dragons?
What dragons? Whoops!
There's actually dragons?
Well, yeah.
Accidents do happen.
You mean dragon eggs. She names the dragon eggs after.
Yeah, she named each dragon eggs. Yeah, she named the Yoshi dragon eggs. That was one of those moments where I realized it was out my mouth, and I was like, holy shit, did I just say that out loud?
Well, again, we're going to try not to spoil, but this is Season 1 stuff we're talking about, and Season 5's dropping next week, people.
Here comes someone in the chat room that goes, holy shit, I haven't even seen it. Wait a minute, she has dragons.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm kidding. No.
That's the one thing, you've seen a million pictures of Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
right? And there's a dragon on every Game of Thrones logo these
I
days.
want to say I said something about this in the first episode too, like when she got the dragons. I said, I hate to break some spoiler alert, everyone. There's dragons in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Right. So Viserys says these people love her. And Drogo walks up to her, lifts her up in the arm, and as someone was saying, it's going to be some deep dicking tonight. Drogo has a heck of a poke face. Lola, you cracked me up. And the Khalasar chants and the priestess screams. And Jorah says she's truly a queen today as he looks beside him and where'd he go? Where Viserys disappeared? Viserys is in the tent opening the chest inside of the 3 dragon eggs. Viserys looks at them, kneels down, and he sighs, and then he puts one inside the bag as he reaches for the second one. Someone enters the tent, stands up, and says, "What are you doing? Don't let them see you carrying a sword. Here, you know the law." Viserys puts his sword in, and he goes, "It's not my lore," and he put...
And that's because they're in Vaes Dothrak, and no Khalasar shall bear arms. That's where all the old ladies live and shit. For some reason, it's a sacred city. For some reason, they'll raid every place but this place. You know, it's like a place where, I don't know.
It's sacred.
It's sacred. They make Khalasar, you know, Khals get made there, named there. And
no blood may be drawn there.
No, yeah.
So is that how they get around it at the end, essentially, is because there was no blood drawn? It was...
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the key, right? That's why there's no swords. You're not supposed to... And Khal Drogo, he gets away with it by... He kills the guy, but he doesn't actually draw any blood by doing it.
Right. And
gives them a crown.
He gives him the crown that he was asking for, you know.
And to jump ahead a little bit, and we'll talk more about this towards the end as well, I think also him and Daenerys were both curious what was going to happen in that situation. The way Drogo looks at him, because he's probably heard so many stories about the dragon from Daenerys, that wondering if that was even going to kill him. And if it didn't kill him in that situation,
No.
I think Daenerys was wondering.
No.
She was definitely wondering.
No.
I think she was.
No.
I think she...
No.
I think
She knows he is not a dragon. She knows at this point, yeah, she's been hearing, you don't want to awaken the dragon, Daenerys, as he smacks her around, but she knows. At this point, she already knows that he's not the dragon. She was holding those hut eggs earlier. She knows she's the dragon. She's starting to figure out that she's the dragon, but she knows that her weaselly pissant fucking brother is no dragon.
Yeah, he's weak and whiny.
Yeah,
Dragons don't whine.
Like, she realizes it, but the last time he put his hands on her, and she was like, you ever touch me again, you weak, slimy little prick, I'll have you fucking drawn and quartered by my Khalasar. And what the fuck is he thinking? He's going to steal these eggs, right, and ride away from... This is where Vaes Dothrak is. Hold on. Where are we? This is Vaes Dothrak. Way the fuck over here. All right? So he's going to ride, through this nothing? This entire...
Can he go the other way?
That's hundreds and hundreds of miles of nothing that they just all together as a Khalasar walk through. Even if he goes the other way,
right?
This is still hundreds of miles to the nearest city. Hundreds of miles to here, to Karth, where she ends up at some point, maybe, possibly.
I would say even thousands.
Like, he's not going to be experienced fucking riders who have spent their lives on horseback, who are part of the biggest Khalasar, the most feared Khalasar on the fucking planet. This measly little pissant is going to get away with these 3 eggs and outride them for hundreds of fucking miles. And when they find him, they're not going to treat him exactly the way he did when he was like, who tells me to stop moving the caravan? I don't take orders from you. And they put a fucking... they're going to drag him back by his neck tied to the whip. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he has no foresight and no insight.
Zero whatsoever.
Bond says he wouldn't make it on his own, and Redden says she's with you on that one, Joe, on your assessment of Daenerys and Drogo. Lola, Viserys Targaryen sucks at politics. Let's threaten Drogo's wife just before
his eyes
move.
Yeah. After she finishes eating the fucking horse heart.
Horse heart.
Your sister just ate a fucking horse heart. She's got the blood dripping down her chin, and you're going to come in and make those kind of fucking threats to this girl? Please.
Dragon says, when Viserys walks away, he looks like he's marching away from a tantrum. Doofus.
Oh,
Yeah,
he is. He
he
is.
is.
Absolutely.
Nobody loves me like this. That's all I want.
I'm
Can you
the
see the way
dragon.
they love her? Why don't they love
Yeah.
my dragon?
Rachel says, Viserys proves once again he's not the sharpest mind out there.
Morg really is a little sharper than Viserys.
Yeah,
Doesn't have the looks.
So he says whatever's hers is mine as Jorah tries to stop him. And Jorah says maybe once perhaps. And he goes, if I sell one egg, I'll have enough to buy a ship, 2 eggs, an army. And then but you have all 3. I need a large army.
Right,
I'm
he's
the
got
last.
nothing. He's got nothing. We haven't even seen him make a dime. Morg at least made a bag of fucking coin off of Tyrion.
The beggar king. The beggar king.
Absolutely the beggar king. The beggar fucking prick face.
But no, Joe.
Villain.
I'm the Joe. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm the last hope of a dynasty, Mormont. Joe, Dirty Locks.
Yeah, where does he get that? Like, really? Your family was the last dynasty, and you're lucky to be alive, you little shit.
The greatest dynasty this world's ever seen is on my shoulders since I was 5 years old, and no one gave me what she gave to me. What they gave her in that tent. Never.
That's because do you hear yourself, you little shit? You think it's owed to you. She kind of she earned it by spending her first couple of married weeks getting raped by Drogo and shit, right?
All the way up to eating that horse heart.
Yeah.
She's earned it every step of the way.
Katie, do you want to read some of the comments? Read Lola's comment.
Let's face it, Viserys was never cut out for the Game of Thrones. The minute he sold his sister to the Dothraki, who accepted her with open arms, his card was marked.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. And I want you. Could you please read Ren's comment too? Because I want to hear that in a woman's voice.
The no way Drogo's baby is coming out of her child-size hips. Yeah, that's a rough one.
That's a rough.
I'm surprised Drogo's baby got in there.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks, Katie.
Ren Renwood said earlier. Remember, she's 13 or 14
in the books. Yes, she's very young. She's much young. In the series here. She obviously looks like she's maybe 17, 18. She actually, to me, she definitely looks 18.
I would say 16, maybe 16, 17.
I hope him and
Nope. I saw an ID. It said 18.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Vaughn says he's more of a spoiled brat than future king. Yep, he reminds me of someone else over there in Westeros a little bit. Except even douchebag Joffrey knows how to play the game and go to Sansa at one point in this episode and kind of make up for his past and do a little damage control. He's not that big of a dumbass that he can't do damage control. He's a little squirt, a little Hershey douche squirt, but he's not as big of a fucking useless pile of junk as this guy is. This guy's just useless moron. Viserys, he was just that guy that followed them around, nothing more. Rom pointed his sword at Daenerys' pregnant baby. He was dead meat. Yeah, the moment he did that, he was dead fucking meat. There was no way. The moment he walked in that tent with the sword.
Yeah. He was holding the sword.
Yeah, once he pulled the sword out, he was dead. There was no way they were letting him leave that.
He didn't have to point it anyway. He drew the fucking sword. He was carrying a sword in Vaes Dothrak. You can't do that.
He was going to be dragged out of Vaes Dothrak, and then
killed.
blood would be spilled.
If you could go on a go on a weekend getaway with Joffrey or Viserys, who would you choose?
Viserys, because he's a little weaker-willed. He has nothing to back up his whininess.
Right.
Joffrey backs it up a little.
No.
Without future spoilers, I agree with you.
The dwarf smacks around Joffrey, and he's like, ah! Right?
He's his uncle.
So
respect your elders,
but
I guess?
I think Joffrey, who you want to go out for the weekend? I mean, the answer is obviously Viserys. He's fucking girls in the hot tub drinking wine. Joffrey's like, oh, let's go rip toads apart down by the river. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Let's go pick on the butcher boy or the baker's boy or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah, spoiler alert, the things he does to Sir Pounce. I don't want to hear about.
I definitely go hang out with Viserys.
Yeah,
yes.
And either way, it's probably going to be a little bit better of a shitty time.
Igor says, well, what the fuck was Viserys thinking? He must have been on crack. Welcome, my friend.
Good old Targaryen.
That's like saying, do you want to walk outside when there's just this mist of shit in the air, like a literal figural mist of shit, or do you want to go outside where it's actually raining diarrhea? Like,
Well, Ren says he does know how to beat up prostitutes. Prostate. He does know how to beat up prostates, so I guess that makes him king material. I think you meant to speak. I think autocorrect gave us prostitutes, but prostates instead of prostitutes. But that's way funnier.
no, I'm pretty sure he knows how to beat up the prostate too.
Yeah.
I'm sure he can wreck that shit.
Well, he got the crown the way he deserved it. Viserys at least got some sex. Yeah, that's what we're saying. Viserys at least will isn't weird. Isn't going to be rather be killing the pussy of Sir Pounce than would actually like to.
Joffrey wants to go, torture animals.
Torture animals and
He
stuff
gets
like
his
that.
jollies other ways.
Yeah.
So Jorah says you can go, but you can't.
There are different types of sociopath.
Yeah, I know, Ren's like, make that prostitute. Prostates was way funnier. So Jorah says you can't go. You can go, but you can't have the eggs. And Viserys says, you swore an oath to me. Does loyalty mean nothing to you? And Jorah says, it means everything to me. Viserys and
I love that line. I gotta say, I love that line because this is what he's. You almost think he's talking about his loyalty to Daenerys.
Right, it is, and I think this is.
Well, he's also talking about his loyalty to Viserys, because if he lets Viserys go with those eggs, Viserys is a dead man.
Yep.
He is a dead man. He is still trying to save Viserys' life. If you want to go, go. But if you take those eggs, you are a dead man. I cannot let you leave. I'm ordering you to get out of my way. Well, I've already sworn my life to protect you, so if you want to kill me, that's my life, but I will not let you leave with those eggs because they will kill you.
Yeah, he's protecting him
And
from
me.
himself.
Yeah.
So he's doing his job.
He's doing his job, and that's what Viserys doesn't mean. And yes, there's absolutely that double meaning where he's talking about his loyalty to Daenerys as well.
But you don't want to wake the dragon, do you? You don't want to wake the dragon. Mormont. So Viserys just stares. Viserys stares at Jorah for a second with anger. Then he drops the bag of eggs and he goes, nah, 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 nah. And he storms off like a little bitch.
If I'd invent the egg crate for her and make $1 million.
Westeros' only egg crate. You've heard of the egg holder. You've heard of the bucket. But what you've never heard before is the egg crate.
Yeah.
Your brother can even sit on. So in the Eyrie, Tyrion manages after like a lot of talking back and forth. Mord, come on, Mord, come back in here. Come on. About the gold. What gold? No gold. We went
no
through
gold.
this.
We've been through this, you imp.
Yeah, this is the line that I played before. Listen to me. Sometimes possession is an abstract concept.
Yep.
Yeah, complicated for more.
A little too complicated for the guy he's talking to.
Abstract? What's that mean? And he's like, listen. When I'm free, you get money. You understand? Have you ever heard the phrase "rich as a Lannister"? And then more.
I know. I've heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
How about a Lannister pays his debts?
Right.
Always pays his debts.
Oh,
Always. He goes.
I know that.
He makes sure he compliments him.
You're a smart man.
Yeah, he calls him a smart man. You are a smart man.
Oh, what a condescending little fucking prick. I love him.
You know who the Lannisters are. I'm a Lannister, Tyrion, son of Tywin. And of course, you've also heard the phrase, as Joe said, a Lannister always pays his debts. If you deliver a message to me and to Lady Arryn, I will be in your debt and I will owe you gold. You understand gold? If you deliver the message.
Oh, yeah.
What's the message? And I wish to confess for my crimes. We talked about a scene last night on Better Call Saul, and I feel like I want to say that this is another example of another scene that reminded me again of the Goonies scene with Chunk telling the Fratellis everything. Oh, this is what everything I did. Where do I begin, my lords and ladies? I'm a vile man. I confess it, my crimes, my sins. I've lied and I've cheated and gambled and whored.
Oh, and I flogged the log, and I beat the wicket, and I stick it into the stew, and my sister ate it.
And I hope
she did.
Ate it.
I love the way he delivers that line. Into the stew.
When I was 12, I milked my eel into a pot of turtle stew.
Yeah, and he's making the motion. The little boy, he's like, "Oh, tell more. What happened next?"
Vaughn says, "You don't want to wake the dragon, do you? Put the goddamn eggs down." Okay. Wait, I'll do that better.
Yeah.
Put the goddamn. Oh, I was gonna do my stupid voice there. It didn't come on. Where is it? Where is it now? Okay.
Put the goddamn egg in the basket, bitch.
He puts the eggs
in the basket. Yeah. What a condescending. Vaughn says, "What a condescending little prick Tyrion is. More like good salesmanship. I mean, yeah."
Yeah.
I really, goddamn, Peter Dinklage is so talented. This character is unfucking believable.
Yeah, I love him. He adds so much humor to every single scene he's in. It's just so incredible. When I was 12, I milked the eel I flogged the one-eyed snake. I skinned my sausage. I made the bald man cry. And into the turtle stew, which I do believe my sister ate. At least I hope she did. I once brought a jackass and a honeycomb into a brothel.
Stop right there! No. What happened next?
Yeah, that's probably the most I've ever, again, spoiler alert, the most I've ever liked Robert Aaron ever from that point on.
And that's where you get the hint that he's a little bit older. He looks like he's an older kid, but like him wanting to know what happens next at the brothel, like, yeah, he's way too old to be sucking on that teat. I'm surprised they didn't have him doing it here too.
Dragon says, "How many phrases can we come up with for a masturbation? I jerked my gherkin."
Oh, geez, we'd have hours.
This chat room's gonna devolve pretty quick.
That's a whole
that escalated quick. Smacked my muffin, slipped my peat, danced my dragon, tickled my twine. Pat, I could do that all night. It's horrible. I'm not gonna continue that. Peter Dinklage gives me goosebumps. Seriously, his voice and expressions are just so fucking insane, says Lola. Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Vaughn just choked his bishop. Lola says Tyrion is maybe an imp, but he'll never go limp.
Yep.
I like
it.
I like that one a lot. And here we go. And let's move on again. So Liza Aaron says silence, and Robin goes, "What happens next?" And Liza says, "What do you think you're doing?" He goes, "Confessing my crimes." And this is where Catelyn steps up, who's just continuously through this whole scene continues to give Tyrion that "sorry I brought you here" look. Dude, I'm sorry.
Yep. And I love the way he's like he's just like, for that I don't know what you're talking about. I've done a lot of fucking shit. But like I'm not guilty of that shit. I'm sorry. Just not.
Igor strangled his fireman. Sorry, it's definitely de-evolving here. I love it. So Tyrion says, "Yeah, I'm very sorry. I don't know anything about that. You've had your little joke. I trust you've enjoyed it." And Mord take him back to the dungeon. And this is where Tyrion steps up. Is this how justice is done in the Vale?
Yes, it is. With this Crazy Pants in charge, she rivals Queen Crazy Pants. This one.
I think Tyrion's lucky that she's pretty fucking crazy, but it seems like the people that are around her maybe are crazy that they follow her, but it's because they believe so much in her husband that they'll at least be in a position that if Tyrion wins this, he can walk out without her saying, "I don't care. He didn't fight with honor. I'm throwing you out the moon door anyway."
Right.
Because of how honorable the Vale is in dealing with this, once Tyrion puts this out there, he knows in front of all these people, Crazy Pants can't do that. She's not that, and she wouldn't do that in that situation because she knows they would use that as an opportunity to bring her charges upon her for acting outside the honor of the honor of the house.
As Carol would say, you got to keep up appearances.
Yep, Absolutely.
Honorable appearances.
That's true. So, is this how justice is done in the Vale? And Liza looks around and says, "Fine, Lord, or my son Robin will be the judge of this trial, and if you're tried and found guilty by the king's laws, you will pay with your life." And Tyrion says, "You bet I understand the law." Liza says, "We have no executioner here in the Vale. We don't. All we have is the...
Open the moon door.
We have the moon door."
Yep, and they open it. They open it right there. It's a big hole in the floor. It looks like a well. And when they show the shot, there's nothing. It's a straight fall, hundreds and hundreds of feet straight down.
Now,
Maybe 3 feet.
It
Maybe
is
more.
worth mentioning, is that how you thought the moon door was going to look?
Well, I watched season 1 before I read the books. So that's exactly how I thought it was going to look. And when I read the books, I was like, whoa, that sounds much different than what we saw.
Right.
It read a lot different. It was like a door in the side of the... It was different. It seemed different. Did it seem different to you?
Oh, it seemed a little different to me.
Yeah, much different.
Definitely seemed a little bit different to me. Great speech by Tyrion. He wins over the crowd every single time. Yeah. Tyrion is calling her on her shit. Abso-fucking-lutely. He is right in her face about her bullshit. Lois says, Sir Vardis had a decent speed. He needed to do what Bronn did and disregard his helmet and his shield. He might have been able to put up a better fight. I agree with that as well.
Fight like a knight.
Yeah.
I think that's what Bronn sized him up right in that situation. And yeah, exactly, Katie. He knew he was going to fight like a knight. Yep. And it wasn't even so much the honorable thing. He just knew speed was his only chance in that situation.
Yep. And he does a great job staying away, and he uses the objects in the room, the pillars, and even the other people that are standing around watching him. If you're going to get in my fucking way, I'm going to throw you at him. Like, fuck that. Like, don't stand there, you fucking idiot. Move. You see us coming towards you.
And she keeps screaming,
"You don't fight with honor."
Yeah, no. Well, I like how at first they're like, oh, it's going to be a trial, and then he's, I forget exactly how, but he ends up saying, no, I'm going to take the trial by combat.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody's like, everybody starts yelling in the room. Yeah, everybody giggles first, and then one by one they all start stepping forward. You know, like, oh, let me kill him. I'll gladly be your champion, ma'am. I'll gladly be your champion.
I'll step on the dwarf for you.
Yeah.
Right. You know, because she's immediately like, oh, well, you know that I'm a lady, so I don't have to fight, even though Aaron's there, and he could have said, yeah, well, I'm an imp, so I should fight your son. Robin. Yeah, Robin. Throw him out the fucking door.
I want to.
You know, so she's like, I get to choose a champion. He's like, well, I'm an imp. You know, I get to choose one too. You know, and so everybody starts saying, you know, oh, I'll be your champion. I'll be your champion.
And that's when, because she calls out Vardis, she's like, what?
He's the only one that doesn't say anything.
And he goes, well, the imp is small. I don't want to fight against a man that small.
That's not fair. That's not right.
And Tyrion's like, yeah, I'm glad too. And that's when the whole thing happens. And he goes, fine, I'll gladly fight the imp's champion. And Tyrion goes,
no. Oh, yeah. Right. That's where he says he gets a champion.
Yeah, you don't be so quick to say that. I'm gonna call my brother Jaime Lannister, and everyone just goes, "Oh shit, we're fucked."
Yeah, and no, but she's smart. She says, "No. You want a trial by combat? It's today."
And Tyrion turns around and goes, "Do I have a volunteer?" We kind of jumped the gun and talked about the fight a little bit. It doesn't happen until a little bit later, but we touched upon it. And Tyrion goes, "Do I have a volunteer?" And everyone kind of chuckles. And
well, you gotta mention too, the whole time Tyrion's giving that speech about flogging into the stew and all his sins and all this shit and everything he's done bad. Like, the camera pans to Bronn a few times, and he's dying. He thinks it's the best shit he's ever fucking heard. The audacity of this guy to come into this room where his life's on the line with these two crazy fucking bitches.
And start doing stand-up comedy.
Right, and start doing his stand-up routine. Yeah. He loves it.
Loving it. Let's touch the chat room a little bit. Rachel says she is the crazy pants of Westeros.
Yep.
Reference to our reference to Vikings. Absolutely, 100%. Dragon says Catelyn gives her sister the look like Tyrion's playing you. I agree. This whole time, Catelyn's like, I know.
Stop this. Yeah. Stop this.
He's way smarter. He's way smarter than all of us. Yeah. She gets it. She does, and she's also kind of being like, "Why did I come here? This is the stupidest mistake I've ever made in my life."
Oh, you can tell she doesn't give two shits about Catelyn.
Lola says it was a great. I agree with you, Joe. Or she doesn't seem. She seems to have some sort of big grudge against him. I hope we get to figure that out later. Lola says it was a great fight, but that kid's annoying. That fight.
You sound just like him, dude. Wow, you do a good Robin.
The him in the moon die. Sorry.
To the moon die.
I want to see the little man fly.
Mommy, can we see him fly, Mommy?
It was Lola says it was a great fight, but that kid's we already said that. Igor says you can fight honorably, you can fight to live.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Fight to live.
And you can fight honorably. As far as I'm concerned, that is honor. Fighting to live is the honorable fight.
Yeah.
Doing whatever. There is no fair or in fight. The word does not. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to hurt me. You're trying to put swords through my body. I'm sorry. There's nothing off limits here as far as what's fair or not. Like, there's just not. That concept is so fucking weird. Like, there's fair sport. There's sportsmanship in boxing. There's sportsmanship in like competition. But in fighting,
Joe, you said the key word in that. There's sportsmanship in sport. This isn't sport. It's not kill or be killed. That's why I love. Okay, that's why I love some characters in the future when they fight that are named of dogs. I like watching the Hound fight because I think the Hound seems to fight for just to survive or kill or whatever.
That's right. Yeah. That's what you fight for, and that's why, like.
That's why Braun has no problem taking this motherfucker down.
Right, and that's what Ned said before. I don't fight in tournaments because when I fight, I fight. I'm not going to let anybody know how I fight.
Ren says in the book she gives Sir Vardis John Arryn's great sword the night before, which was more ceremonial than practical. So it's another heavy item that he has in that fight. Igor says Braun's like the fraternal brother. I love this guy. Yeah, he totally is like he loves him almost as much as Jaime loves him. He looks at him the same way. He gives him that. This little guy's awesome. Yeah. Lola says Braun would whoop anyone's ass on the show easily, besides maybe Serial Pharrell because he's too amazing with that sword. Vaughn says Braun found the perfect rich bro.
Oh yeah.
Ren says never fight fair when you're fighting for your life. Absolutely, Ren. 100 fucking billion%. Dragon Braun is
and the thing about that is if you're in a fight, you better be damn sure you believe it's a fight for your life.
Yeah, every fight should be a fight for your life when you're dealing with how easily just one slip up can cut your head off or stab
something. Fuck that! I'm talking about right now. Like for real, like one punch has killed people. So you better be damn sure that that you know that you're defending yourself and it's for your life. Don't be the first one to like lay hands on if you don't have to be. But if you feel like your life is threatened and it's coming down to a fight, make sure you know that it's for your life because
Joe, read Vaughn.
It's for their life.
Joe, read Vaughn's comment. I think you'll be able to deal with that. In the real world, you got to do what you got to do. All that matters is how much heart you have and whether or not you know what you're doing. So. Yep. And Steve French, welcome Steve French to the live chat. Is that Deadliest Warrior show on? Perhaps they could do a Game of Thrones episode.
Yes. Well, we want that Deadly Warrior. We talked about doing our own kind of
stuff. I'll talk to you off camera about, but I was talking to some animators about possibly doing something. That's gonna be way in the future when I have some fucking money, because it would cost something. Anyways. So Braun is a badass, but I don't think you can take Serial Pharrell. Braun versus Serial, Steve French. That's it. It's an interesting fight. I think if Serial Pharrell, I think Serial Pharrell takes him if he has a sword. I think because they're both light, so we can't get him on speed.
Serial Pharrell is supposed to be like the best sword fighter from Bravos or some shit.
Yeah.
So, and Bravos is a free city across from the Fingers, across from the Eyrie where Catelyn is now. Bravos is right up about here, right on this little point. It's like very much Venice-y is how it's almost described, only much fucking cooler. And so he's like this, and they're legendary sword fighters and shit, and that's where the Iron Bank is. The throne is massively in debt to the Iron Bank. And they always collect their debt, where the Lannisters always pay their debts. These guys always collect their debts.
What are they called? Water dancers?
Water dancers. Water dancer. And it's very much a fencing style, much lighter.
And I love how it adopts the elements of Bruce Lee philosophy of fighting as well, with the be like water and adjust to your opponent's attacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. And he's great at it. And the character, I love the character.
Can they just be a team? Can we not fight them? Can they just go around? Can Syrio Forel join him and Tyrion running through the Vale?
I'm pretty sure Syrio Forel, because I'm pretty sure he kicks just about anybody's ass in a fight. Just about, like, very few people I think could beat him.
I agree. He's an artist with it, not just a fighter.
And plus, the speed is probably your greatest advantage.
He's like Inigo Montoya, you know?
You kidding my
Like, if you want to equate him to anybody, that's who he is. Like, the Dread Pirate Roberts is out there in Westeros. Someone's going to be able to take him down, but essentially he's Inigo Montoya.
Igor says, guys, I got to go and grab a carton on... Get a carton on piss. Yeah, hopefully you are still on in half an hour. I believe that means he's going to get a couple of drinks, so have fun down in Australia. Thank you for teaching Joe and I some Australian lingo in the comment section. We really appreciate it.
Spewing.
Yeah, we won't be. We're not spewing that you're leaving. Is that? I think I used that correctly. I loved Bronn from the first moment on. Lewis says I did too.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
He's
Great
a character.
Carton of Beer. Yeah, Carton of Beer. Awesome.
My 4 favorite characters are in this order. Not in this order. Are just this. Yeah, Arya, Tyrion, Bronn, and Syrio Forel.
You like Syrio Forel? I like Captain Crunch.
Yeah. I gotta say, really, I really think he's
Carton of piss.
He's great. I just love his philosophy. I enjoyed the scenes with him. I think I like him so much because all his scenes basically revolve around Arya. And I love her character. It's without a doubt my favorite story in these books.
So we quickly go to the Kingswood, where we see Robert, Lancel, Lannister, Renly, and Barristan Selmy walking through the forest. Robert's in front, holding a spear. Lancel's right behind him, holding wine. And Renly is right behind Lancel, holding a spear. And Selmy's behind Renly. So Lancel walks up behind Robert. He goes, "More wine, Your Grace." And they stop as Robert takes some more wine, and he's talking. Now, what was I saying? A simpler time. It was a simpler time. You're too young to remember. A simpler time. Wasn't it a simpler time, Selmy? Yes, it was. The enemy was right in the open, vicious as you like it. You had a bloody invitation, nothing like today. And Renly condescendingly says, "Yeah, it sounds exhilarating." And exhilarating, yes, not as exhilarating as those balls raids that you throw.
Well, this goes back to what Renly was saying to his little lover boy, in private when he was shaving him.
Lover boy.
The Night of Flowers there. Loras, when he says, Robert looks down at me because I've never been in battle. I was too young for all that, for his rebellion and for the Ironborn and all that shit. And this reminiscing, Renly takes it like a personal attack, like he's pissing on Renly a little bit.
Yeah.
Renly never made the 8. No, Renly never made anything.
You don't even know. Renly might have made the 8.
That's true. But no, I don't. He didn't even know what a Riverlayer girl was.
He might not have even had to know, and he still might have made the 8.
No, I get a feeling.
Just on the back 9, that's all.
But even beyond that, I just get a feeling from his interactions with Loras. And
yeah, I think it's. I don't think
that's his first. That might be his first. I don't know. Not his first. Okay.
Not his first. No.
It just seems like he's not that traveled like that. There seems to be some sort of innocence about him.
Yeah, I don't think he's made the 8. I don't think he's made the
8. I agree, Katie. There's something he looks at it all as very romantic, and he has a romance about him. I think that's part of the almost more future talk. But yeah, I think he has some. He's an innocent little boy in some ways. I think.
Yeah, he is.
And so they continue to walk through. And he's like, not as exhilarating as the masquerades and balls you throw, Renly. You ever fuck a Riverlands girl? And Renly says, once, I think. When someone says once, I think, or about a year ago, 6 months ago or something, they're lying. They're making it up.
Yeah.
You think?
At some point.
Yeah. You remember? It's like when you're 13. Yeah, I saw a boob.
Well, I don't know. Do you really remember all of your encounters that you've had?
Yes, I do. I would remember.
I'm not as good as man as you,
Are
Charlie
you a little
Brown.
slutty Joe?
I'm not saying it's been a lot. I'm just saying I don't necessarily remember them all.
No, I hear you, Joe, but it's not the type of thing like if I said to you, "Oh, did you ever sleep with a brunette or something like that?" You'd be like, "Yeah." You'd be like, you wouldn't be like, "Oh, I think."
No. Like, yeah, I definitely know if I slept with an Asian.
Town there.
Yeah, or something like that. If you just pick it. I was like, "Oh, have you ever been with a Russian girl?"
With the continent. I hope I would
I
remember.
definitely remember in Africa or in Asia. But did I ever sleep with a German? How the fuck would I know? Not one that actually had a German accent, but
Dragon said, "You ever had a Riverland girl?" Ew, a girl.
Ew, a girl.
Lola says, "I'm not a Renly fan, but he owned Robert in the scene." I agree. He fucking owns him in a second here. Ren says, "What would make you think all 8 were women Robert were talking about?" That's very true. Who knows with Robert? I have a feeling Robert.
Here we. Spoiler alert in 5, 4, 3, 2. For what it's worth, what Renly does, he's a little bitch. He should have just been like, "Yo," like for how much I wanted to like this character, what he goes about doing against his brother, is just fucking bullshit. You know, like he lets this Knight of Flowers talk him into some pretty heinous shit, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
he's got no right to be doing what he's doing, and for any of these other lords to stand up and have gotten behind him was just bullshit.
Yeah. Spoiler over. So Robert's like, "You think?" I think you'd remember that. Back in our day, you weren't a real man until you fucked one girl from each of the 7 kingdoms and the Riverlands. We used to call it making the 8. And you just see a close-up on Barristan's face for a second as he smiles and puts his head down like, "Oh, Robert, you're cracking me up." You get a feeling Robert almost amuses him at times, that he's just like, Robert deserved this. He really kicked some ass back in the day. Because with Barristan, I get a feeling it's all about, were you a good warrior? He still respects Robert for the warrior he once was. And he's a king, so he's protecting him. But there's something about what Robert's saying. He understands that he finds happiness in this. Those are some lucky girls, says Renly.
Oh yeah, real lucky women there.
And then Robert turns to Barristan. "You ever make the 8, Barristan?" And I don't believe so, my grace. Trying to keep a straight face while saying it. Robert, those were the days, and here we go. We're Renly fucking. Which days exactly? The ones where half of Westeros fought the other half and millions died, or before that? When the Mad King slaughtered women and babies because their voices in his head told him they deserved it. Or way before that, when dragons burned whole cities to the ground. And then Robert's like, "Easy, boy, you may be my brother, but you're speaking to the king." I suppose it was all rather heroic if you were drunk enough and had some poor Riverlands whore to shove your prick inside and make the 8. Damn.
Yeah, he does really give him some.
Now, does Renly Does Renly talk shit like that to Robert if he doesn't have that conversation with Loras? Is that Loras in his ear?
No, I think he has that conversation with him anyway.
I think he would think that, but not necessarily come out with it.
That's where I'm at. I think
Loras bolstered his own, what was already boiling inside of him as the
maybe not at this
brother.
point, but I think he's spoke like that at different times to Robert. You know, absolutely. He's been taking shit from Robert for quite a while. I think he spoke like that to him.
It would be interesting. We haven't seen it before that, so I'm not even sure. I could see both. I could see both sides of it. I could also see this as a breaking point moment for him, where it seemed like he's just finally had enough, because Robert almost had this shocked look on his face, almost like Renly's never talked to him like this before.
And he wasn't. And this wasn't. No, I think you're right. I think it was Loras in his ear, because he wasn't like really ragging on Renly or any shit like that. He wasn't like picking on him. Renly just kind of not overtly. Yeah,
it's what Dragon said.
Jabs in there.
Dragon said it perfectly. Renly hit Robert with the truth.
Right.
Yep.
Little truth bomb.
A truth bomb. Yeah, truth bomb.
After all the yes men at the table when Ned Stark walked out.
Renly is one of them.
Right.
Renly, one of them in that situation. Lola, those were some lucky girls. King Robert was a manho. Ren says, we already said, what makes you think that they were women, Robert, we're talking about. And so I suppose it was all rather heroic. And then right away, right after Renly walks off, Lancel Lannister, the stupidest fucking name.
Yeah.
There's more wine, Your Grace, and shoves some wine into him. And Selmy gives Lancel a really, eye fucking look, like he's forcing the wine on Robert, who never says no to something that's handed to him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, kind of why are you pushing it so hard, kid?
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that, and hopefully Robert won't get too drunk, and with considering what we find out later in the episode of what Ned discovers, I hope Robert gets back there soon, so these Lannisters can fucking be squashed already. It's about time. Seems like it's about time for the Lannisters to go down. In fact, that's what I think is going to happen.
I hope so. I hope so.
They're evil, man. They're evil. We got to kill these evil Lannisters.
Slay the lions.
Slay the lion. Exactly, Katie. So back in King's Landing, Ned sits on the Iron Throne. This scene's fucking hilarious. And what a fucking asshole. What a fucking Maester Pycelle is in this scene. Like, he is such a...
He's hilariously awful. He's so awful, and it's hilarious.
Absolutely perfect way of saying it. He's hilariously awful. Okay, so we're gonna call him Maester Hilariously Awful. Is sitting there, and the farmer's like, they burned everything in the Riverlands, our fields, our granaries, our homes. They took our women. They took them again and again, and then they took them again, and then they killed them when they were done, taking them twice.
Oh, they covered them in pitch. Oh.
Yep, they only had them twice though. You know that. Other than that, it gets icky.
Yeah.
After the second time, it's just icky.
Oh.
So when they're done, they butchered them, as Katie said. They covered them. What's pitch?
It's like
pitch
a
tar.
flammable tar. Yeah.
Okay, so they tarred them and then lit them on fire, and Maester Pycelle says brigands mostly, meaning like thieves and people coming in, and the farmer says they weren't thieves, they didn't steal nothing, and they even left something behind, and Your Grace. And Pycelle totally cuts in front and goes, Your Grace, don't call him Your Grace. Make sure you don't do that. He's the hand king you're addressing, mother. Not the king. The king is hunting. And he does this thing with his hand. The king is hunting. Like, what the fuck is up with that guy? What a dick.
He's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Really weird, big weirdo. Dragon says,
I can't believe he's still on the small council. He seems like such an old fucking bastard. Like,
yeah, I know. Like,
barely there.
I've been with many kings and many hands, and they touched me.
I've been touched by many a hand.
I think people think he's the wise but kind of crazy little old guy.
Yeah, he's
we're obligated to keep him here. And
I guess.
I think if we were putting that scale, like the crazy wise scale, I think most people are on the crazy weirdo end. Did Rachel ask, did Lancel slip something into that one? I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Oh, no.
We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Oh, that would be awful.
Listen, you got the king, right? The king's an asshole. And he's probably an asshole when he's not drunk. And he's probably an asshole when he is drunk. But if you can get him drunk enough, he'll pass out. He'll want to go back and get into his tent and stop trudging through the forest. The dude yells at him all the time. Where's my fucking wine? Go get more wine. Why don't you have more wine, Lancel? So he's finally learned his lesson from the last few episodes, and he's got the here. Have more wine. Don't yell at me, please. I got wine for you.
Good point, Joe. He's just trying to be a dutiful wine bearer.
He's the squire to the king.
Terrified not to.
Like, essentially, he's the king's squire. He's not just like the cupbearer. He's the squire, I think.
Dragon.
The squire, so.
Dragon, it's not easy. It's not easy, Dragon, all the time. Dragon says Littlefinger really seems to play Ned in this scene. I'm starting to wonder if Ned's gonna make it out of here with all his faculty. Yeah, it seems like Littlefinger pushes the action here a little bit. And
Littlefinger's such an antagonist here. He is definitely pushing Ned into some awful shit. Like,
right.
And creepily so. All that whispery in his ears.
And it even brings up Catelyn.
Yeah, and I love how he messes with his pen in this scene too. So it ends up being a bunch of fish.
symbolism.
Yep. And Baelish is like, oh, a fish, the sigil of House Tully.
House Tully, your wife's house, where your wife's father's house.
Yeah, could anyone be mad at your house?
Here, just so you know, this is the Riverlands right here. This area in here.
Yeah.
And that's where this shit happened. It happened somewhere around here.
It's Vale adjacent.
Lola says Pyzel was playing dumb, always.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a character down.
And the farmers weren't thieves. They didn't steal anything. They even left something. Dumps the fish down. Fish the house of the sigil of House Tully. Isn't that your wife's house? And he says, these men, were they flying a sigil? Or Ned Stark says, these men, were they flying a sigil? A banner. When the farmer's like, oh, a sigil? No.
Nope.
Your hand. They were led by a tall man. A foot taller than any man I've ever seen before. He cut the blacksmith in two, and he saw him take the head off a horse.
One swing.
What the fuck's up with horses in this show? But anyways,
No, with the mountain, he's like that's his
Mountain has a
move.
grudge against horses.
That's it. You want to strike fear in the hearts of fucking people?
is that his finishing
Chop
Mortal
a
Kombat?
horse's head off with one. Well, that's his finishing move.
Yeah, that's
It's
his
to
Mortal
cut that. Like you see him do that to a horse in the battlefield or in front of the town, and then he starts walking at you. All you're envisioning is that sword cutting you basically in half the long way, from like not like just cut you open, like from cut your belly open, but like literally chop you the fucking half.
Yep.
All
And
like
dripping
cartoon
with
style.
horse blood.
Like, and then you blow and you like peel apart or some shit. That's some pretty freaky shit. And he's already a foot taller than anybody else on the fucking planet. Like,
and Slimy Baelish says, oh yes. Doesn't that sound like someone we know?
We saw that just recently. Didn't we see someone do that last week?
We definitely exactly. Yeah. Doesn't that sound very familiar to you?
Still, well, Stark wasn't there at the games.
But still, yeah.
But I'm sure. Yeah, he definitely heard it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
It was a Godfather. It was a Godfather moment.
Yeah, like I can
Godfather to the
picture
extreme.
Tyrion telling him, "Make sure you do that thing again that you did at the tournament, so they know exactly who it is without putting up a banner."
Here we go. Dragon has another one for us. Drogo versus the Mountain.
Oh.
We'll think about that for a
I
second.
don't know. Does Drogo get his horse back? Is Drogo on horse?
Well, the Mountain takes the horse's head off in one slice.
But he knows how to ride the horse and keep the horse away from
The Mountain knows how to swing.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
He's freakishly quick.
If you can get the Mountain to focus on the horse, and then, like, maybe.
Maybe while the Mountain's
Use the
cutting
horse.
Drogo's horse's head off, he
Yes.
can run around. He's much quicker.
See what I'm
He's
saying?
there. This guy, Drogo's a big boy. He ain't no small fucking dude either.
Aquaman can kick some ass. Plus, he has the power of the sea on his side.
You know, maybe he can dance around him enough too. He's got to be quicker than the Mountain. He's not covered in armor. He's got a different kind of sword. He fights differently. That's a very good question.
Oh yeah, Ren, the fish. Like Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes. Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
I don't think necessarily the Mountain's a good fighter. That's the thing about the Mountain. He's not like a great fighter. He's just this huge fucking man that's massively strong and powerful.
And freakishly quick.
For a man his size, he's not a bad fighter, but he's not like the most talented fighter in the world.
I would say he's not even the best fighter in his family.
No. And there you go. I don't think so either. So I'm going to give it to Drogo.
Yeah. Rachel says the Mountain. Lola says Drogo. The horse is the reason for the fight. Yeah, they fight because the Mountain chopped off his horse. That's why the fight starts. And I said quickly, Ren Renwood said the fish is more of a calling card, like Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes, and also with the horse's head too. There's so much Godfather symbolism on Game of Thrones. How can we not see it before? So the farmer says, none your hand, the one that was leading them taller than a foot. Peter Baelish turns in, that sounds like someone we know, the Mountain. Eddard Stark says to the farmer, you're describing Sir Gregor Clegane. And Pyzel, why when Sir Gregor Clegane turned thief? The man's in a prison night.
Sound like Sir Gregor.
No.
And then Baelish takes a step here to push Ned to the next level angry. I've heard him call Tywin Lannister's Mad Dog. I'm sure you have as well.
Yep.
Can you think of any reason the Lannisters might be angry with your wife? And he just stares.
I want to know where
Bingo.
Shouldn't where's the spider in all of this? He's on the small council. Why isn't he there?
I wonder where the spider is. That's a good question.
That is a good
I mean, we know why Renly's on the small council and not there. For some reason, he decided to go hunting with his brother. Why the fuck would he go hunting with his brother?
Maybe the spider's somewhere on a trip. Last time we saw the
Why
spider.
the fuck is Renly out hunting with his brother?
Didn't Robert insist?
He said that in the last episode. He said Robert's forcing me to go with him.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. We talk about a lot of shows, Joe. It's fine.
A lot of information.
Oh, Lola says who wins the fight? Hodor wins the fight.
Hodor.
And Ren
Hodor's not a
says,
fighter.
I think talking about Drogo. Yeah, he was Conan in another life.
Yeah. Brandor will say wins the fight.
That's what Dragon says. Hodor with Bran controlling him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Lola says, I want Drogo versus the Hound versus the Red Viper versus two-handed Jaime Lannister versus the Mountain.
Oh my
Hodor.
goodness.
We're definitely keeping this chat for all these requests for podcasts that we'll do. Because what we can do, Joe, you can always record the podcast and then animate sections later if we can ever, if I can figure
Royal
that out.
Rumble, all of the kings of Westeros.
So here we go. So
Royal Rumble.
awesome off-season and additional content type stuff that we can add during the Game of Thrones season. Some cool extra podcasts that we'll bring to you. These battle podcasts. Some of them might be short, but I think they'll be fun if we just get into it and talk about that. Some of these things. So keep them coming in the chat or in the comment sections, and we'll keep track of all these battles that we want, so we can do them at a later date. So, if the Lannisters were to order attacks on villages under the king's protection, it would be, and Baelish continues, that would almost be as brazen as attacking the hands of the king in the streets capital.
Yeah. Baelish, oi, he's so slimy.
Pycelle mumbles something.
No. He basically says, that's not, I don't even remember what he says.
So Eddard Stark says, I cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life.
I love
Perhaps
this.
I can give you your justice. In
The
the name of Robert.
Oh boy.
Yep. Oh yes. You shall have my command. He calls over Sir Beric
Dondarrion.
And steps through the crowd. You shall have my command. Assemble 100 of your men and ride to take those trucks and drive to the gate. And tell them if they don't come out, I'm gonna cut off this guy's head. So
Spoiler: this isn't the same actor that plays him later in the next in future seasons.
No.
And when I remember seeing this, and then I remember when I read the book, I remember reading this, and then I remember reading it and being like, did he send the same guy out there? And went back to watch it, and I was like, oh, huh. All the shit that's missing in the book, this is still in there.
Yeah, this was one of those moments on the rewatch that I forgot it was a different actor at first.
Yeah.
And I was like, and when they called his name, I expected to see the other guy, and then when I saw him, I was like, oh, who the fuck is that? It was one of those things I just forgot they recasted it.
Right, and like I said, it stuck out as kind of strange after reading that this was thrown. And obviously, there's reasons. They're smart men.
They are. Yeah, they are. It happens. So Ned says, in the name of Robert of the House Baratheon, the first of his name, King of the Andals, and the first men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm, I charge you with bringing the King's justice to the false knight, Gregor Clegane, and all those who share in his crimes. I denounce him. You hear the grasps and the murmurs. I strip him of all ranks and titles, lands, holdings, and sentence him to death. And that's not okay. That's one thing. Okay, do that. That's one thing. Pycelle goes, my lord, this is a drastic action. It would be better way for King Robert.
No, I am the king's hand. I speak in Robert's name. Shut the fuck up, Pycelle, or I'll put you on that block too.
Right. But that's not the thing that he shouldn't have done here.
That's far enough already.
That's far enough. Exactly, Kay. That's far enough. Then he goes, no, Pycelle.
No.
What I want
he goes
you
after someone else.
Yep. Is send a raven to Casterly Rock and inform Tywin Lannister. He's been summoned to court to answer for his crimes of his bannermen. He will arrive within the fortnight or be branded an enemy of the crown and a traitor to the realm.
Yep.
Boy.
Yep.
Ned, what are you doing?
Yep.
You don't do that. And Peter Baelish, and then everyone's just like, hubbard. And Peter Baelish goes, a bold move, Lord Admirable, but is it wise to yank the lion's tail? I think that's one of the first times Baelish has been honest to him, because I don't think he even expected him to do that.
Doing that, what is it like?
What's his benefit? What's Ned trying to do?
And here's the thing, like, does he know what kind of danger that actually puts his wife in, who's on the road, who's in the Vale right now with Tyrion, who maybe Tywin doesn't take any real action because he kind of, we hear the way Tyrion talks about his dad. So
Tywin's kind of obligated to take some
to do something, which is what he does with the mountain. Go attack a Tully village. Throw some fish about. We got to send a message. This is intolerable. He's still a Lannister, but we don't necessarily have to fucking start a war over the imp.
Great points in the chat room. The music gets very ominous during the speech as it builds up, and as Cat whoever that is, said it's a great soundtrack. It really is a great soundtrack. And Ned gets all thug at this moment. Yeah, he does. Ned's. And I love how they show with Ned standing up, how his leg's shaking a little bit and limping around with the cane. It's a very intense scene. Very intense scene. I don't get Ned's endgame here by calling Tywin to court. I don't understand how that's a good.
This moment on, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Ned?
Yeah, he suddenly gets impulsive and emotional. Like what his wife did gave him the open door to just go nuts with that.
I have a question. What Lola said, and I think Joe, you're going to go on this for a second. Ed was a fool to believe justice was a reality.
Yeah.
Well,
that haze of honor that he.
Is that what you think he was?
Justice is subjective, and whose justice are we talking about? Because my idea of justice is probably drastically different than most people's.
Did he overestimate his friendship with Robert? Does he think that Robert's just gonna be his golden parachute in this situation? Is that what he's
not
doing?
After the way they had this conversation kind of in the bedroom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
dude, Tywin is dipping his balls in my mouth. We can't be fucking with this family.
Right. What is he do? What is Ned doing? Is he just?
Has he already heard the news about and looked at that book?
No, not yet. That scene hasn't happened yet.
See, if that scene happens before this, then I understand this. That scene doesn't happen before this, so I don't understand this.
He's feeling the suspicion already, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he figures this. He figures they killed my fucking boy, or they tried to kill Bran. Instead, they crippled him. Then they tried to kill him again. Then, well, maybe he doesn't know they tried to kill him the first time, but they know the assassin was sent by him because they had the Lannister knife there.
Yeah.
So then another one comes out and tries to kill him in front of the fucking brothel. Now this other bannerman is out dumping fish and cutting horses' heads off and sacking towns out in the Riverlands. So maybe he's already seeing it all. It's already.
Yeah, he just has to go all in at this
point.
Right.
He knows that there's nowhere left to go but war, so you might as well get this ball rolling. Might as well just drop the bullshit and let's just.
Well, he is Hand of the King, and at least he does have that.
It's kind of that I can apologize later.
Right.
Well, you think
Robert
or you know.
will accept.
Right. Never ask permission now when you can simply apologize later.
Ren says yes. Joe's particular justice is knife to the back of the head justice. Love you, Red.
It's simple and straightforward.
Pretty much my rules for the Walking Dead universe, living there, is almost exactly the same as my rules for living in the Game of Thrones universe. Only you got to be a little bit more careful who you stick the knife in the back of the head.
Yeah, timing and
Well, because you always have an out, as long as you can get up to the wall and take the oath.
Yeah.
Lola says Littlefinger laid the trap and Ned simply walked into it.
Oh, yeah. He goaded him right in, then he antagonized him. Oh, it was perfect.
He played the role of the spider.
Slimy little fuck.
And spun the web.
Little fuck is correct. So Littlefinger says to him, "Bold move, Lord Admirable, but is it wise to yank the lion's tail? Tywin Lannister is the richest man in all the Seven Kingdoms." And he raises his voice. "Gold wins wars, not soldiers. Then how come Robert is king and not Tywin Lannister? Do you know why?
Why?
Because Tywin doesn't want to be fucking king.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
No, Tywin couldn't have been king.
But I also think he doesn't necessarily want to be the king. He wants his kids to be the king, maybe, or one.
No, I don't think he could have been. Well, he wants his kids to have Lannisport and that whole area.
I think he cares more about Casterly Rock and money and respect than he cares about necessarily the crown. He knows the real power lays in how much money he has.
Right. If his family becomes king, his money becomes the kingdom's money.
Yeah.
Right. Is that a good thing necessarily, though?
As a puppet.
A puppet regime is better than an actual regime sometimes, and I think that's Tyrion. Tywin knows he's got the gold mines, he's got Lannisport, Casterly Rock, all this stuff. This whole area over here is like his. That's his shit right there. You know.
Yeah, like
if he becomes king, his bank becomes the king's bank.
But yeah, if his kids or grandkids do and they screw up, he can always disown them and say, "I had nothing to do with it."
Right.
Whereas if he's king, he's completely responsible and at fault and to blame. So.
And not only does his bank become the king's bank, but the king's debt becomes his debt.
Mm-hmm. And most of that debt's to him.
And most of that debt is to him. So he does not want his direct heirs to be king, and he doesn't want to be king himself. He wants all that money he's owed back, with the interest he's probably owed it. You know.
So as we cut from over here, we go to the trial by combat start. And we talked a lot about this, but the trial by combat, Bronn versus Ser Vardis, and using heavy gear and basically using the environment, using dodges, attacking, getting inside while the guy swings. He just getting the best of him. It's a really awesome fight. I mean, we've all seen it. I mean, I don't have to describe every last second about it. But the hilarious thing is Robin Aaron at the beginning of the fight is just going crazy, like Kermit the Frog starting the Muppet Show. We want the flag.
I really like the fight. They definitely both have different styles of fighting. One is fully dressed in armor, full helmet, shield, long bastard sword, and he's a lot slower than Bronn, who's in leather outfit, leather armor, dancing around, one-hand parries, and dances through the crowd a little, drags this guy around the room, throws objects at it, like a person at him, brings him through pillars where he can't swing his sword the whole way. It's definitely using the environment to his advantage, not just relying on his suit of armor and sword.
But Joe,
you don't fight with honor.
I'm sorry, I don't see how he didn't fight with honor.
He's honoring himself. In
fact, like he doesn't fight with honor. He did not just kill this guy. He wounded him. He put him on his knees. He disarmed him, and he put the sword to the guy's shoulder. Down on him, and he looks up at frickin' Robin and Crazy Pants fucking face.
Thumbs up, thumbs
down. And basically says, let your hero fucking live here. I don't have to kill him. And she says nothing.
Yep, she doesn't give the thumbs up.
She says okay. She doesn't say okay enough. We concede. You've won. Let him live. She makes him kill the champion of the Vale and drop him out the fucking window.
Robin wants to see someone fly.
Right. Like, really? And that's just fucking disgusting.
Will you forgive me?
It's a fight to the death, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm sure this guy's not going to like living afterwards, knowing that he lost to the Imps fucking, sellsword champion.
But still, I agreed. Bronn in a way did fight with honor because he gave him many opportunities to yield in that fight.
He fought with honor.
He did not fight with honor. Like, listen, he threw a guy at him. The guy was in my fucking way.
Yeah,
you don't want to get poked with a sword or thrown at someone with a sword. Get the fuck out of my way when you see we're coming. It's the only thing happening in the fucking room.
Everything around me is a tool when I am fighting for my life.
Or Tyrion's life, for two lives.
When in that situation, I remember the first time I watched that scene, when I just didn't. I I just didn't understand the concept. I was totally like flabbergasted by the fact that they were pissed at him. I was like, what did he do wrong?
He didn't do anything wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong. What do they mean he didn't fight with honor? He killed the guy. It's a fight to the death.
Yeah, nobody else said that he didn't fight with honor.
If we have to learn anything, we can learn everything about fighting from the Karate Kid. And Karate Kid 2 and Mr. Miyagi's talking about when you fight to the death, there's no fighting with honor in that fight. You beat the shit out of the guy till he dies.
Right.
Even Mr. Miyagi knows that, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Jeez. So Tyrion looks up after the whole fight's done, looks up and he's like, yes, as he stabs him and throws him. Tyrion's hilarious in this scene. He just bites his lower lip. He's like trying not to be happy. Yeah. And when
he marches straight across the room, and he's like, "I think you got something in mind." Looking at Catelyn's guy.
First thing he does, he raises his hands to Morg.
Oh, to cut him free. Right.
Like no request or action from anyone else. He just does it, and Morg unlocks him.
Yep. Because everybody knows the law. He's not a prisoner. He won the fight was won.
It's done.
That's it. It's
except for Robin, because Robin's still going. Is it over? Can I make the little man fly now?
Robin's a little touched.
Going home.
Yes, the little man is going home.
Yeah, and he walks right over to Roderick, says, "Give me my money, motherfucker."
Nope.
Roderick throws the pouch down. He walks right over to Morg and gives it all to him.
Yep, like he promised.
Exactly, because Lannister always pays his debt.
He never told him how much he'd give him, but he did say he'd make him rich.
Well, he said the gold he had on him that was taken from him.
Oh, he did say all, yeah.
I believe,
and he gave it all to him, which leaves them with nothing for his journey home with Bronn.
Well, he has jewelry and stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Once
and he can keep promising Bronn because Lannisters always pay their debts.
Yep.
Lola says, once the fight is over, then you can be honorable.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
And Dragon says, Joe, I can tell you're a martial artist because of your views.
Yes, all that zen and self-control.
Exactly. Zen.
Namaste, Joe.
I can't tell. Is that was sarcastic?
So we'll have to get a little bit
by that.
What do you mean by that? Wait a second.
I have some awesome. I'll have you know. I have awesome self-control.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, I'm the glutton here.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody manipulates me like me. Let me tell you.
So here we go. We talked a little bit about the scene earlier. We're over to King's Landing in Sansa's room with Septim Mordain knitting on a chair as Sansa's doing the same on her chair in front of her. You wear your hair like a real Southern lady now, don't you? Well, shouldn't I? We're in the South.
Hold on, I need Dragon to further explain.
We're still on the...
No, Dragon says serious.
That was my interpretation of it as being sarcastic.
Because
I twisted his words.
Igor, let's toast, man. You're back. Let's toast. Toast to you, dude.
Back.
Thank you, my.
Got your carton of piss.
So Dragon says serious. Dragon, you're in trouble now. That means knife to the back of the head.
No.
You know, I'm not the best, competitor or anything, but I took martial arts. I wrestling and Wei-Chi-Ru, boxing. I did some shit and I'm not the greatest in the world.
Oh my God, you got the goat, Dragon. You did it.
But I like to think I say some pretty.
It was me.
I've learned some lessons.
It was my fault. It's not Dragon. It was me. I twisted Dragon's words, and yes, I apologize.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry I twisted your words. I made them ugly.
Oh, that's funny.
That is awesome.
Thank you, Dragon. I was just fucking around a little bit there too.
Thank you. We love you guys in the chat room. You guys keep this so fun for us. Thank you so much for joining us and having some fun in the discussion room going on. So anyway, back to the serious scene between Sansa and Septim Mordain here. This needs all the attention.
Oh, Sansa.
Yes. You wear your hair like a real Southern lady. Well, we're in the South, damn you. Okay, we'll try this another way. I'm sure your mother wouldn't like these new styles. Well, my mother isn't from the North. I'm aware of that. Why do you even care? Do you even have hair under there? Yes, I have hair.
Would you like to see it?
No. So where are you from?
No. Oh, she's such a brat.
So where are you from, the North or the South? I came from a very small village. Oh, wait. I just realized. I don't care.
I wanted her. She really. Where's the king's honor badge now?
This little girl, oh my God, spoiled and entitled and so lost in the fairy tale ideal of what she...
Dragon, I'm sorry, Dragon says I meant it as a compliment. Whimper, whimper.
Yeah. No, thank you, Dragon.
I'm sorry.
And Ren says, Pilates, Joe? Joe jogs.
Yeah. I may be a big man, but I try to stay in as round as a shape. I maintain a shape. All right.
We're not going to specify what shape.
What shape? Yeah, we're not going to say what shape, but but it's a fast shape. Considering
no, I'm not fast. No.
Considering you don't have any ankles.
You are fast. You are absolutely fast.
Considering you have no ankles.
Okay.
He
Back to
Game
of Thrones.
He's fast and
I come from a Septa's like
I'm fast and furious.
He is Vin Diesel's body double.
If only I could talk like I had a milkshake in my throat.
Scepter Mordain says I come from a very small village. Oh wait, I realize I don't care. Joe, I want to hear more about that, but I just realized I don't care.
Sansa ho.
Sansa burn, yeah. So she's like, now you're just being rude. Like, she wasn't being rude before?
Yeah, I think she knows.
I think she's been a rude little bitch since we met her.
Yes.
Are you kidding me? She's all like, "Shut up, Arya. Get in line, Arya," and like she's like doing.
She's a terrible big sister.
She's an awful fucking person, and
she's
a liar, and she got her fucking dog killed because she lied to protect Joffrey, the little fuckface. You know. Like, come on, she doesn't care that this guy had the butcher boy kid, that this kid and his mom had her dog fucking killed. Fuck her. Fuck her.
She just wants her fairy tale.
Fuck that little, like, people in future podcasts that we're going to do about season 4, people get down on us about how we feel about Sansa, but fuck that bitch.
She gives me the feeling that she might turn out to be kind of a Cersei, like...
We'll see about that. So speaking, if it's from a situation that could go from bad to worse, Joffrey Baratheon enters the room, who bows in front of Sansa.
Oh.
Says, "My lady, I have been monstrous over the past few weeks. Can I give you a necklace with your permission?"
Oh, I wanted to puke.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And Sansa's like, "Oh, it's beautiful, like the one your mother wears. Oh, you'll be queen one day. It's only fitting." You just see Scepter Mordain's face through this whole thing. This girl needs this. Like it's bad enough. This girl's always been like this, and like you have to add this onto her until she's gonna be the queen.
Yeah.
You as an influence. Oh my God, she's doomed. You're my lady. One day we'll be married in the throne room. Lords and ladies from all the 7 kingdoms will come. They'll watch us be married. I'll never be cruel to you again. Do you understand me? You're my lady from this day until my last day, as they kiss. And she smiles. And you know what? I believe him. I don't think he'll ever be rude.
No, I don't believe him for a second.
No, he's all hers. She loves it. He, as we saw from that conversation with his mother in a previous episode, he adores Sansa.
Yeah.
Rachel says she agrees, or basically everything right on, everything Joe says on Sansa. Yes. Igor says, "No necklace jokes, please. No necklace jokes."
Was it a string of pearls?
Wasn't it? Oh, gosh.
Well, both of you shut your mouths.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Rob. Sorry, Mr. Baratheon. We won't say anymore. So then we go back to the horse card riding. It's Theon Scene saying bye to Roz. Basically, Roz is leaving the North. It's just a little bit. It's again a little bit of a backstory information that everybody in the North knows about what happened with Jaime and Ned, and eventually everyone's going to go off to war, is what she speculates. So she might as well go down to the South. Theon's upset, so he's chasing after her, going, "Don't leave! Please don't leave! Who am I gonna? Well, you're the only prostitute that will accept my money."
You know what? I watched this scene, and I remembered.
I nodded off during this scene.
I remembered videotaping the panel.
Yeah, this was the question you asked her about, wasn't it?
And I don't know, I forget what I asked her, but I wish I had tossed her a coin and asked her to see it one more time.
Oh, dude.
I really do.
No.
I really, like, if I was going to say anything during that panel, I should have stood up, ran forward, and been like, you know what, baby? And threw her like a coin and been like, can you just show it to me one more time?
It should have been a chocolate coin, though, so at least
gelt, so she could have eaten
it. As a joke, and you just throw her the It'd be funny. It would go from funny to creepy. They'd give her real money.
It started out creepy and it ended creepy.
Right. If it was chocolate, it would make it just a little.
I think I asked her. She got to have a bunch of sex scenes, but who did she want to have the sex scene
that
with?
She didn't get to have with something like that. Lola says it's a trap, Sansa. Sansa, it's a trap. Run. Dragon says Dragon agrees with me and thinks that Joffrey is being sincere. Maybe he had a change.
No, he's not being sincere because we have that previous scene. We know maybe he thought of her as all right, I'm gonna get laid, I'm gonna have a wife, she's hot, whatever, at one point, but not after the shit that went down with Arya. And after that conversation with his mother, I think he just picks shit up from his mother really well. If you'll marry this girl and you'll fucking like it, and if you want to fuck whores, you'll fuck whores. But you will marry Sansa Stark.
It's the right thing to do.
You gotta be gentlemanly until you marry her.
Right.
And then
after you marry her, you can smack her around like your dad does to me.
Honor her all the time.
Damage control. You gotta do something. So I mean, I'm just gonna yada yada over the Theon scene. It's just another one of showing how Theon's wanting and needing a friend. Basically, Theon needs a friend.
It was kind of
I love Roz. I love that character. I think she's wicked hot too.
The actress makes it. She does such a good job. She's very
I see why they wrote more for her and wanted to keep her around on the show.
Yeah,
it brings a lot of chemistry to the scenes, and she has a lot of life to her. The way she
right. And all the stuff she did, they rolled it all up into one character, and that's good. I dig it.
Lola says this is where the be careful what you wish for because you might just get it turns into be careful on who you trust because they might just turn into psychopathic assholes. You never can tell. And
did everything I ever wanted, Mummy. I'll never ask for nothing.
Igor says Joff is doing what he's taught to do. That's exactly.
Absolutely. He's they set the example and he's following it.
Yeah.
So we go back to after our Theon scene where, again, it's a lot of just exposition to let you know what's going on in the north and that Roz is going south because all her clients are going to leave and pretty much everyone she knows, her whole client roster is going to be dead. So I'm going to go down to one of the brothels down south and try to make some big money down there. So it's a smart plan, and Theon's going to miss her. And he asks her, as we were talking about, to see it one more time, and he throws her a coin. I will miss you. And what if I stay here?
I'm sorry. I liked the Flash. I dug it.
It was well done without actually showing the...
No, you got to see a little bit of the fire crotch.
I don't know.
Just a little bit, I think, but...
She did like a neat leg cross.
Yeah, and she laughed. Her chuckle was so cute. I really dug her.
Vaughn says, I heard of younger girls falling over with assholes, but this takes it to another level.
Yeah, right.
I will say that's probably true of I was gonna say with the Roz and Theon, she doesn't love him, but he's an asshole. Dragon says Roz is another one they made more interesting in the series. Another one, and I would say Braun. You might have mentioned that earlier. I missed the comment, but I'd say Braun's another one if I didn't say it earlier. I love Braun is someone that I love so much more in the shows, and I think it's part of the chemistry that him and not that I loved
him in the books too. I think he does the books perfect justice.
I agree, but there's just he becomes more likable to me in the sense of because of the way the actor plays him. I like him even more.
Yeah. I mean, Tyrion's fucking gold, and you put this guy with Tyrion, and it makes him shine that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think it helps that the two actors
too, and Braun meets it.
Yeah,
absolutely. they work very well off each other, and the actors have extremely good chemistry, and that helps.
Yes.
So Ned assembles his daughters, and he starts to have a conversation with them. He says, "I'm sending you both back to Winterfell," and this is probably the only time in history, mark this down, that Arya and Sansa are on the same side of an argument for a second here. He goes, "I'm sending you back," and Sansa's like, "What about Joffrey?" And Arya doesn't care about that. She just goes, "Are you dying because of your leg? Is that why you're sending me home?" She's like, and what? And he's like, "What? No." And then Sansa's like, "Please, father." And
she's so morbid. She's so fucking morbid.
She's a realist.
What are you dying?
She's a realist. People in this world die from that crap.
Well, it's true, but like she takes it beyond the next level. I'm gonna go with Joe on this one. That like she's not just a realist. She goes to the dark. She goes to the darkest level. She goes right to the darkest.
And I'll offer this as proof. She made her dog run away because she had the foresight to know that they were gonna kill it.
Yeah.
Realist. Hello. She knows where she is.
And, too. She's only 10, for Christ's sake.
She is ahead of her time.
Yes. So he said, "No, I'm sending you both back to Winterfell." And Arya's like, I can't go. My lessons with Syrio. I'm finally getting good." And he goes, "This isn't a punishment. I want you to go back for your safety." And Arya's like, "Can we take Syrio back with us?" And Ned doesn't answer. Maybe he'll let him come back with them. And
Syrio has a home and family too, doesn't
I'll
he?
bring them too. Bring them up too. I'm sure they're used to the cold.
Oh, sure.
From where they're from. And Sansa's like, "Who cares about your stupid dancing teacher? I can't go because I'm supposed to marry Prince Joffrey."
Oh,
yep.
I meant to be his queen and have his baby. To which Arya responds, "7 hells."
I so want Ned to give her a little bit of the king's honor in this scene. Like,
wait, let's get through this funny line. "When she's old enough, I'll give you a match with someone who's worthy of you, someone who's brave, who's gentle, who's strong."
Just rip, but I don't want that. I want Joffrey.
Both Arya and Ned's face. Just
what the fuck?
Priceless.
He'll be exactly the way they both look at each other, and Arya saying 7 hells is like one of the most hilarious things I've ever heard in my life. Let's go.
I love that actress. I love this her role. I love the way George R. Martin wrote this character. It's my favorite story in the whole book, and every scene with her is just as I can't say I love Tyrion too, but I just love all the Arya stuff.
Well, I have
she's
to
so
say,
fucking cute. I gotta
adorable.
say,
Absolutely
I dig
adorable.
a tomboy in a story, and she's awesome.
Sansa, the actress, does such a good job with this character.
Yes.
Sophia Turner and Maisie Williams are both amazing in their. I think it's amazing. I think I'm right.
I just like her so much. She's so
No,
bratty.
That just goes to show George wrote a great novel that inspires such emotion to all of its characters.
Yes, very
and
evocative.
the casting and the producing of this show, the directing of these actors is top notch, and they put out such a great product that basically everything else on TV needs to be. This is the litmus test for everything.
It's the example of the art form.
Yes, of TV as an art form.
Yes.
Correct.
So let's get into the chat room for a second. Roz is another one that may be more interesting in the series. Ren says Oberyn as well. We'll definitely get to him later.
Oh, I love him.
When Sansa says, "I don't want someone who's honorable, brave and strong. I want Joffrey." Arya says 7 hells, and you can see Arya and Ned fighting laughter back.
Oh yeah, they share a little look.
Yeah.
Like.
Lola says, "I really chuckled at how blindly deluded and smitten Sansa was, and how Ned was doing his best not to laugh at her, though Arya, as her sister, wasn't as tactful."
Yeah, Sansa's lost in the fairy tales.
This is a fucking retard.
Well, she's
Lola,
a young girl that believes in the happily ever after.
Good thing to say. She's just an awful fucking person.
Oh my goodness.
Lola says, "Forget Sansa, give me Arya." Dragon says, when Sansa says Joffrey is nothing like that old drunk king, Ned seems to have that aha moment. Yeah, we're going to get that in a second, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Notice the shared laughter with Ned and Arya.
And we're going to have lots of beautiful kids with gorgeous golden blonde hair.
And Igor says exactly what we were just saying, and it's 100% true. If you hate Sansa, Sophia Turner's doing a good job.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So true. So true.
Absolutely.
I don't want someone Brental. I don't want someone Brental, dental and strong, brave, gentle and strong. I want him.
Yeah. I want Joffrey, the
He'll be the greatest king ever was, with golden lion, and I'll give him sons with beautiful blonde hair. And Arya says the lion's not his sigil, idiot. He's a stag like his father. Sansa says he's nothing like that old drunk king. And right there is when Ned, as they were saying, has the aha moment. Because Sansa, we may call her an idiot, all these names and stuff. She is more insightful than she knows. She's the exact opposite of Cersei, who's not as smart as she thinks she is. Sansa's not as dumb and airheaded as she thinks she is.
Yeah.
As everybody, as she actually is.
Right.
Oh, she's that dumb and airheaded. It's almost like, the Chinese had a compass, but they didn't know what the fuck to use it for.
Right, exactly. She has all the tools in there. She just doesn't know how to use it at all.
Right. So she's picked up on wow, Joffrey's just like Jaime. He's just like Cersei. He's nothing like Robert, Renly, or any of them. He's not. And she says it. She comes straight out and says it. And then the blonde hair comment really throws Ned right over the fucking edge. And he goes, as soon as they leave the room, he goes and grabs the fucking book.
Right.
The Maury Povich moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Robert Baratheon, you are not the father!
Where usually the answer is Robert Baratheon, you are the father. It's very surprising.
Yeah,
I see a lot of not the fathers on Maury.
Not when Robert Baratheon's on the
Oh, right, not when Robert Baratheon.
Yeah, he's everyone's father but his own
kid. He claims his non-bastard children.
If you're going to like a police lineup of bastards and you have to choose multiple choice of who's the father, I'm always picking Robert Baratheon. They all have dark hair.
The seed is strong with this one.
So Stark ends up reading all the names, and he's through all the Baratheons. Lord Oris Baratheon, black of hair. Axel Baratheon, black of hair. Lionel Baratheon, black of hair. Skips ahead. Stefan Baratheon, black of hair. Turns a page. Robert Baratheon, black of hair. Joffrey Baratheon, golden. Closes the book. Shocked. I cannot wait till he tells Robert. I am so fucking excited to see the conversation between him and Robert and see Robert go crazy and go down and fucking try. Cersei better get the hell out of there now, is all I'm saying.
I hope he goes straight to Robert, too.
Yes.
Just straight to Robert. No.
Yeah, me too.
Well, both of you shut your mouth.
Okay, I'll shut up. Sorry.
Hush, hush, hush.
Sorry.
What a great moment. And
really was.
And then it seals it. Now he knows exactly why Jon Arryn died.
And who killed him.
Who killed him.
Fucking
Now Robert will let me go back to Winterfell.
Maybe once all this comes down, he can find someone else to be Hand of the King. He can make, like, I don't know, anybody Hand of the King, and I can go home.
And he's also going to be like, sweet, I can't believe, awesome, I ordered Tywin's arrest. Bing!
Yep.
Perfect. When a plan comes together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
This Game of Thrones isn't too difficult. I'm winning.
Winning!
I'm totally kicking ass on this game. It's no problem. So here we go. On to the end, the last scene. We're back in the Dothraki.
Maze Dothrak.
Dothrak. And a woman enters the tent with a platter of food. Women are dancing around the fire with all naked and such, and showing their body parts. And Daenerys is laughing with her maidens as the Dothraki are beating the drums, the music throbbing. It's a good Dothraki party.
Do they do this every night? Is this like?
I think it's celebrating her, isn't it? Celebrating the baby being, figuring out that the baby's a boy, or thinking the baby's a boy, and celebrating her eating the horse. Is this all supposed to be the same?
This is that same celebration.
Okay.
Yeah, same night.
Okay.
Same night.
Like, fun places. This is every night, dude. Fun stuff.
Yeah. No, this is pretty much every night while they're in Vaes Dothrak, but this is that same night.
Dragon says we were overselling it back then. We totally were. Good call. So Viserys just busts in the tent and is all like, "Where is she? Where is she? I'm here for the feast, the whore's feast." Yeah, he says it's the whore's feast.
Oh, you just called Drago's wife a whore, dude.
Every step of the way.
Baby's mama a whore. His first kid.
Oh, look, Lola's excited because yippee, yay, there we go, the melted gold bucket challenge.
Who will win?
Dude, that's some fucking crazy fire. You see how that gold melted? The gold melted
quickly. Yeah, is that really how gold melts?
No, that was a passage of time. That was probably he sat there with his arms broken.
With him
like
for
the
a
intermission. And we're back.
10 minutes later.
Or, they should have done that. Girls. Just hold on a second. Keep holding him there. Oh man, can somebody stoke this fire a little bit? I didn't think this through.
Viserys must be back in the meth again.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He's been doing the blue.
He's so tweaking. He's so tweaking running through the tent.
He's going
with
crazy.
The sword, and everybody's eyes on him. He's got that sword drawn. Oh, you fucking boob.
Oh, yeah, they immediately take notice. That is wrong.
That's like the biggest insult. That's the only fucking law in this town, and you break it.
And he points it at her.
Right at her belly. Right at the unborn child.
Before that, he initially just comes
and bounce my sword, motherfucker.
Yeah, he dances the room a little while.
He enters the room and he says, and Mormont tries to stop him, but he screams, "Get your hands off me! No one touches the dragon."
Get your damn hands off me, you damn dirty ape!
Yep.
Get your hands off
you
me.
filthy ape! Yeah.
I'm the dragon. Sorry.
That's good.
Don't touch my scales. I just had them polished.
Drogo says, he says, "Khal Drogo, I'm here for the feast." And Drogo, understanding him seemingly, points over there and puts to a spot in the back. And Mormont translates and says, Drogo says, "There is a place for you back there."
Yeah.
That's no place for a king. And Drogo responds back to him, "You're no king."
No king.
Fuck yeah.
That's right.
And he's just eye-fucking him this whole time. Him and his buddies are just giggling at him. And
what did he say to me?
Daenerys is like hiding in the back, trying to just.
You think she's hiding? I think she's standing there proud.
I think
in her throne, proud.
I think she's proud, and once the sword comes out, I think at that point she's resolved. There's nowhere
to die. I don't mean hiding in the sense like she's just like when you see your friend causing a scene at a party and you're like, oh gosh, this is just bad.
I think she's happy for this.
I don't think she's happy about it. I do not think she's happy about it.
Not at first,
but once the sword comes out. She told him.
I think
she told him, "You touch me again, and I will have you fucking killed."
Yeah. Once that sword is turned on
she
her
smacked
belly,
him. She made him do the Joffrey scream.
Let's go to the chat room for a second. Dragon says, Jorah's like, they're going to kill us all. Yeah, he gets really serious. Lola says, I think it's very important to note that in the last scene with Daenerys and Viserys, you can see the switch go off when he puts the dagger to her unborn child. Up until that point,
the dragon is awoken.
Up until that point, she still had some attachment to him. But when he puts a knife to her child, you can see the switch go off in her, and she watches him die. Without blinking. Jorah's thinking, oh fuck. True, and says, true Lola, very true Lola. And Dragon says, Dany's face completely changes to you need to go. I think at the beginning of the scene, it's like, don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. Once he finds it, goes, oh, there's my sister. There you are. Because Daenerys stops and goes, Viserys, please, get out of here while I can still save you, basically is what you think. Yeah. If you leave right now, I can probably get you
broken leg or something.
Yeah, and that's it. Just get out of here. And I can say, my stupid, poor, small-minded brother. You just save him, give him one more chance, whatever. But he spots her and says, there she is, and he pulls out the sword. And Mormont says, put down the sword. They'll kill us all. Viserys says, they can't kill us. they can't shed blood in their sacred city. And he points the sword at various people around him. And at this point, one of the girls, that's one of Daenerys' girls, goes to Drogo and starts translating everything Viserys starts saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They can't shed blood in their city. He points the sword at the maid who tries to block him.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I want the crown you promised me. He bought you, but he never paid for you. Tell him I want what was bargained for me, or I'll take you back. He needs the baby. I'll cut it out of you and leave it for him. To which Drogo responds and speaks for a little while in Dothraki, and Viserys says, what are you saying? What he's really saying is, Daenerys, there's nothing I can do right now. This little son of a bitch has to pay and die right now. Not even sorry, because there's no word for sorry in Dothraki. This just has to happen right now. Hope you'll enjoy this, my love.
Your brother's journey with us has come to an end.
I felt like her translation was a little more diplomatic and sweet than what was actually said by Drogo.
Right. He probably said, "Okay, I'm gonna fucking drown this son of a bitch with a bucket of gold," and she says, "Yes, you should." He says, "Yes, you shall have a golden crown that men shall tremble to behold." And she just looked, as Joe said in a little while ago, and it was absolutely true. No, the other way happened, Viserys. You awoke the dragon when you threatened her child.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That was the straw that was, when she was done. That was absolutely done. There's no saving him. I want him dead.
Yep.
Viserys. Oh!
Viserys.
It's so hard! It's just a little piece of metal. It's not actually a sword. It's a letter opener.
Igor says, like with Pete and Rick in the last episode, without getting too detailed. Yeah, exactly like that. Daenerys, do it. Daenerys, do it. Bob Norton made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. So Daenerys, he says, you shall have a golden crown that men shall tremble to hear upon. And Viserys, oh my God, this actor plays smarmy prick so well, but he also shifts it into that point where you can see he plays like this innocent, not innocent because there's nothing innocent about him, this boyishness about him. Like when he goes, oh, that's all I wanted, and he smiles like he really thought this was going to all work out.
No, I really kind of like.
He thought it was going to work out. He totally did.
No, I think he realizes. Maybe
he's scared.
Yeah, he's scared shitless at that point.
But he still has that delusion.
I think he knew for sure, like he had gone too far. I think when Khal Drogo starts talking to him, when he puts that sword up, I think at that moment he realizes he's gone too far. What's he gonna do? You're gonna cut it out of her and leave it there, and then what? They can't spill blood in your city, but they'll just drag you out of the fucking city.
I think he's I don't use this word lightly. I think he's delusional enough to think he's okay, that nothing's gonna happen to him.
His delusion's a little shaky because you can see his anxiety.
Definitely the Mad King's fucking son for sure.
But yeah, he's mad.
If he doesn't realize that he's fucked, he's the Mad King's son. But the way he like backs off and is like, oh, okay, that's all I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you just say so? You know, like
this could have been so easy.
I got it. And listen, he's been told they're just waiting for. Wasn't he told they were just basically waiting for the Khal's kid to come or something shit like that?
Well,
or until it was seasoned, until the spirit said it was okay to do it, or something. He had to wait for.
Yeah.
Right, and let's not forget, like, you want your crown. You're way the fuck. Invades Dothrak.
He got some traveling to do.
I can never find it when I need to, right? You're like way the fuck away from where you need to be, including a fucking ocean. You have no boats to get his army there to get the crown that you want. Like, what the fuck is pulling a sword, invades Dothrak, at least 6 months journey, 8 months journey.
But Joe,
sure.
But Joe, this.
Back.
I am the dragon! I am the dragon! I won my crown!
But he wants his crown.
And it's going to be 8 or 9 months till we get to the place where we can fight. to get you your fucking crown back. Never mind trying to find the boats to get all the fucking horses and men and armaments over the fucking ocean, dude. You're a fucking moron. What are you gonna do? You fucking idiot.
Ren would say,
Goddamn.
Ren, just Ren's gonna add to your fuel to your flame, Joe. He and Sansa live in the same world. And
Yeah, totally.
And Robert Aaron too. They all live in the same fucking stupid world.
They're all afflicted with the same thing for sure. Like I really don't understand.
Fairy tale fever.
anything going through Viserys' head at this point, considering where they are geographically and
Except
the
for
other
the
hurdles he has to conquer to get back to get his fucking crown.
Yep.
The only thing Drogo can give him is okay, we're gonna head back that way and go fight, because he can't actually. Okay, here's my Khalasar. What? Like,
the only thing
kill
going
you
on
and he'll kill me.
The only thing going on is in his head is that gold seeping through his skull.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's the only thing going on in his head. But I agree with you, Joe, just from a standpoint of I don't get where his head, how he could think that this was going to end well.
There's no way any of this. Even running away with the fucking eggs, where was he going to go? None of his plans are smart. The guy has no brain in his head whatsoever.
Vaughn says he got his crown all right. Yeah, he sure did. He sure got his fucking crown.
So as soon as he steps back from the girl, he has Drogo has his men take him, and one of them seemingly breaks his arm that's holding the sword.
Drogo initially
you
goes
hear
over
a crack.
You hear a crack. He goes over to her first and he hugs her and he looks.
Oh, he puts his hand on her belly. He's 100 feet fucking tall compared to her too. He's huge.
And
weren't you girls a little turned on by that?
Hot.
Him putting his hand on her belly, his child's in there,
That's hot.
all that glistening flesh of his showing.
Yeah.
You were all wishing you were her.
Go Aquaman, go. Sorry.
Yeah.
So you cannot touch me. He's the dragon. He's the dragon. I guess we can listen to that. Listen to that one.
Katie made me dress up as Khal Drogo the first time we saw this. Right after the scene.
I am the dragon.
Oh yeah. Oh no, sorry. So tell us more about that. No, I'm kidding. So Jorah,
my body was just right too at the time. So
you could be a body double for him.
I could do Aquaman.
You could be Aquaman too. You could.
It's all my martial arts training,
He dates,
dude.
Lisa Bonet in real life.
Oh really? He's with Denise Huxtable?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow, that's pretty hot. That's pretty hot couple.
It is. Yes, they're very.
They're going to make
together.
some very attractive babies.
Yes, they are. Okay, enough of our baby.
Not that the baby. I mean, when they're old enough, they'll be attractive.
Yeah, are they in the baby?
Or unless they're in Westeros.
They don't have to be too old.
Renwood says, or Lola says, gold melts at holy shit, 1,940 degrees. 48 degrees Fahrenheit, 1,064 degrees Celsius. So that was some hot fire. Dragon says, way to go with the science. Renwood says, in the Lord of the Rings, gold melts pretty fast too.
Yeah, I mean that pot had to have been sitting on that fire for days or some shit.
TV science.
It may be one that they just keep constantly hot for whatever reason.
For gold melting.
Ceremonial reasons, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that flame would have had to have been stoked. That gold. They put Viserys on his knees. They grab a necklace, that big fucking necklace, and that necklace. Who wears something like that? That fucking Mr. T ain't in town.
I'm going with Vaughn's answer that it was just TV science. In Dothraki magic, a wizard came out and it went.
It's the same science that deflated the Patriot footballs.
Oh, give it up. So Jorah says to Daenerys, look away, Khaleesi. And she says no, and she looks straight on. And she doesn't blink, as we've said. Viserys looks at the pot. Drogo throws some gold in chains. In horror, he turns to Daenerys. Dany, tell them. Make them. No, you can't. Can't, Dany, please. And then Drogo goes right in front of him, takes it, and Viserys won the Super Bowl, dumps the Gatorade gold splash right on his head.
Donk! Oh, the sound his head makes when it hits the ground. Donk!
A crown for a king as he pours the gold. Amazingly delivered by Khal Drogo, who gets right in his face afterwards and looks at him like,
oh yeah.
Gives him the
Isn't
eye.
that a great death? That's such a a wonderful death. I forgive the awful gold melting in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was worth it to see it.
It was absolutely worth it to see. And it was so quick, like because if it just was so quick and so almost unexpected. You knew he was going to die, and you knew they couldn't shed blood. And he rose to the challenge and he conquered it, and he put him down without spilling any blood.
Ren Renwood says
it also cooled pretty fucking quickly too.
Lola says talk about creative ways of killing in the Game of Thrones show. Yeah, and amazing visual. Ren said, didn't they dump out some soup right before if it was just being kept hot? Yeah, they did. Yes. So it couldn't have been kept that hot. Vaughn says, can I watch? Why, if you don't, how will you learn? I don't know if there's talking about your dressing up like Khal Drogo thing, Jeff. Dragon says fire can't kill the dragon. Dragon says fire can't kill the dragon. So the fire can't kill you. Lola says it was an epic death. Epic.
Oh, so epic.
It was awesome.
A satisfying one.
And I love that Danny was like, fuck that. I ain't turning around.
Yeah,
I'm watching this. Motherfucker put a sword to my baby. Yeah. He deserves this. I gave him every opportunity to stop being a douchebag, and he just kept douching it up. I bought him. I had to make him a fucking Drogo vest, and he was like, "Bitch, please."
I gave this guy so many opportunities to keep himself alive and make himself. And actually let him live here, or he had plenty of opportunities to leave here and wait and not even have to be around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He got what was coming to him.
Sorry.
It was a very happy thing to see. It was great. I loved seeing him die.
It was, up there with some epic...
Gold crown to the top of the head, motherfucker.
Damn.
Yeah.
Igor says, I hope they didn't waste that soup, because considering they're eating horses every day, they probably should.
Right?
No,
they had some vegetable soup.
No. He dumped it right onto the dirt.
Dragon says, no, fire won't protect them. Fire will burn his ass. I'll eat my wings mild. Lola says, I forgot how badass Drogo was. Yeah, I love how he gets right up in his face after he kills him. And
we don't really get to see him be badass.
Not yet.
All yet.
Spoiler, not yet.
There's
a couple moments where we get to see it, but this is one of the first ones where you get to see him really just how ruthless and someone fucked with him here in this situation, and there was no swift action needed to happen. And he's so calm about it too.
Yeah, he presents a badass figure already without having demonstrated up till now some badass behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Well, I don't want to fight him. Like he doesn't look like a guy that you want to fuck with in general. Sure.
Yeah, I would definitely wouldn't want to fight him, especially on horseback. Him coming at me. I think he's up there as one of the people we were talking about in our battle royal of people in Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
At his top of the game, he'd be tough to beat.
His braid is pretty long.
It is pretty long. He's never lost, ever. So I guess this is a good place to end on the episode. So we're not going anywhere quite yet, but because I'm going to cut this weird on the YouTube, I'm going to slice the video. Let's pretend we're ending right here. So everybody, thank you so much for checking out this recap of Game of Thrones. We will be back after the season's over with more Game of Thrones recaps for season 1 and beyond. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're back.